honestly, like today's stream is very much focused on NVIDIA and everything that they have going on. They were very, very sweet, and I want to share everything I can with you guys on CES. What I experienced, it's a little bit different than a lot of other people who attended. I went specifically for NVIDIA. So like literally my entire trip was focused on them, of what they have going on. Got to chat with their reps, had a good time, and probably will be attending CES next year for the entire convention. But this year it was specifically with them, which was really, really cool. And so we have a lot to chat about. We have a lot to chat about. Again, with Twitch streaming, it's kind of nice because this is a back and forth conversation, which is unique versus YouTube. So, I mean, there's YouTube content you guys can see about everything, but you guys know me. We talk. We're very authentic and honest here. And if you guys have questions about anything related to NVIDIA, like anything, like I truly mean it. It's not just GeForce Now. If it's about AI, if it's about any of their announcements, and I openly admit I will not know the majority of the questions you may have, you can post it in the Discord server and I will get this to the team. I had the privilege and pleasure to meet so many people from so many different departments. Um, while doing demos, while not doing demos, just chatting about life, family, and I will tell you they are amazing. Amazing team. I can't there's not one person I can sit there like all of them were amazing and very authentic and honest, and I loved it. I had a great time, and it makes me love the brand even more. And I'm learning more about them. So I mean, I felt like the kid in the candy shop where everybody else sat at the table and they knew exactly all the things, and I'm like, I know nothing, but I'm here to learn. And to see their faces light up and get excited to talk about what they do or about a certain product or something going on was energizing, very energizing and fun. So it was a great time. It reminds me back when I was working at Apple. I knew nothing, and getting to learn things from their eyes and lenses was the best. So, yes, if you guys have any open questions, none of them they're afraid to answer. So, if they can't answer something, they'll obviously tell you guys if they're not able to. But the open feedback line is very transparent and real there. So, I appreciate that. So, big shout out to Rion, our personal rep with GeForce Now, and yeah, so we're gonna dive into that. Well, Tissues, good morning. Tissues, we talked about you so much at CES. So much. We were cackling and talking about your skill gap. We were like, dude, no, truthfully, we were talking about how amazing you did with GeForce Now, and they were like, everyone was excited to hear about it. And everyone said, by the way, the entire team says congratulations on getting second place. No one complimented Nancy Wheeler, so. So, you guys, so story time. So what happened was Sunday morning, we drove out to Vegas. It was fine. I stopped by this like really cute little diner I like to go to, like called Peggy Sue's. I didn't love the biscuits and gravy there, but I just got like some eggs and hash browns, went down, got to Vegas, checked into my hotel, and then I went on the monorail, kind of like just chilled out in the city a little bit, and then I went to this cocktail hour with GeForce Now. So Kendra, again, just to give you perspective of the team, she lives locally in Vegas, and it'd be smarter for her to stay in the hotel, right? It would have been smarter for her to stay in the hotel to be closer, but instead she asked the team could she use that budget on doing like a fun like little gathering for the GeForce Now team. Like how nice was that? So like that cocktail hour was all GeForce Now content creators, people in that space. And like so we had drinks and stuff like that, which was a lot of fun. And we got to chat, we talked about like everything going on. And the one thing that came up was I was like, people in my stream and in Discord, like they'll have some comments about, the graphics card pricing going up. And so like what I loved about it was I told them my perspective of like, listen, like I see this as like I don't know the back end stuff, but there has to be good reason. Right? Like, I don't think of this brand as someone that's necessarily like air quotes greedy. I didn't see that. I through all my interactions with all the staff members, I didn't see anyone resenting what they did. Everyone was excited about what they do, excited about talking about their departments, getting to know us. Um, I talked about like a bazillion times on a small stream. They're like, and so what? Like, we think you're great, or like you still hit a market for us. And it was really nice back and forth. And so, like, I brought up to them, I'm like, I can only assume the pricing went up because I had to, or because of like you have to pay your employees more, or maternity leave and all these different things. And it's like to see all of them like nodding and agreeing, like not like saying anything. Like again, like they can only share so much with me, but to see like how I was speaking about things, no one was like, you're off the chart there. It showed to me that there is this bridge that's unfortunate with consumer, with brands. And it's really nice to be in a place of I'm still a consumer. I still buy things, right? But I also work with the brand on certain projects like charity events and such. So it was really great to talk about those things. And that's what led to them like having this open ended question. So whenever we do anything that's specific with GeForce Now, or like I'm going to continue to have that space open for you guys in the Discord server. I'm going to make one separate for NVIDIA where you guys can ask Kendra, Rion, like in the Surviving for Santa Discord server, like openly if you'd like. That's what I want to do. I want to continue to have space for you guys on having that connection with this specific brand. And if other brands that we've worked with want to have the same thing, I'm happy to do so. I think it's important to have that space. And we have Reddit, we have all these other outlets, but I will tell you the team is only so big and they do everything that they can. So for us to be treated so special, like to be so special where they're like, yeah, like we will answer your like that feels good. So again, like it's not just being about being a bigger streamer or having bigger numbers. They're doing everything that they can. And if we're able to help in that for you guys, awesome, great. So again, if you guys have questions about that graphic card being so expensive, you can go ahead and ask. But I'm gonna pinpoint and address those because I don't want to beat around the bush. I've had a couple people, and again, rightfully so. You guys have questions, and I appreciate that they were like, we don't want you to fight this like where you don't have support. Like we want to answer those questions for you. So I appreciate that because whenever you're in a situation, sometimes working with a brand or another person, people have opinions in between, and it kind of can put you in the middle. And so this is a great way of you guys learning how to address those in between moments, whether you work in a corporate job, what have you. It's calling the elephant in the room what it is. Like I'm not beating around the bush. I'm like, you guys, there's a question that I have and this is what it is, and we address it. And then that takes it off of my plate because that's not my elephant in the room anymore. That's other people's elephants, right? So that's how I see that. So that was really cool. In the evening, I got to hang out with some of the people. Again, off the clock, we're just kind of chatting. And like, there's no tea to give. We were just having drinks, talking about streaming, asking about VTubing, talking about our kids. Like one of the guys had stickers all over his phone. And I was like, oh, like just to like know, like there's a story of like his kids decorating it. And so, talking to people about their families and their life and commuting and so much fun. So Sunday, was a blast. Got back to hotel room. Like I got back late. Yeah, you know what? I got back really, really, really late Monday. And then Monday morning, I got up. What did we do? I got up, but Monday was the big day. So Monday was a big day. I got up. I wanted to get a bagel with like salmon and cake. Like there was this really good bagel place near me, but because I didn't want to miss the keynote from Jensen, I like booked it. So like I rushed over there, got in line, and we got to watch the keynote live. Now I do have the keynote like recorded on my phone, but I figured it'd be better for us to just kind of watch it all together. So I figured like, we'll go ahead and watch the keynote, we'll watch some videos, and we'll go from there. But hey, Master of Puns, how are you doing? Welcome in. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, hello. This is a very unique stream where we're going over CES and with NVIDIA and going over all of the fun stuff that we got to do. So we're about to watch a keynote. So those that don't like keynote presentations, this isn't going to be for you. However, I like to learn. I love learning. I don't necessarily need to know everything. And a lot of this goes over more of the AI stuff and tech, which is pretty cool. Hi, Wicked. Welcome in. Good morning. Good morning. So if you guys want, go ahead and grab your water, grab your snacks, grab whatever you need, because we're about to watch the keynote for NVIDIA and what I got to watch in person. So I get to watch it again, and I like loved it. It was really cool to see and like surreal. Surreal. I had no idea. Let me just like preface this. About a week ago, I knew that they did graphics cards and they had GeForce Now. I had no idea that they like did I had no idea what company I was dealing with. I was in the dark, and the sky's the limit now, right? So like this is pretty cool. So let me go ahead and transition over. Let me see. We'll go over here. We're going to shuffle ourselves. Oh, I had to do a video recording. Ha! That's fun, right? There's our CES presentation, right? So let me shuffle myself over where I normally am on this side. We're going to go on this side of the screen. I'm going to get my drinky to represent my Red Bull. We're going to go over here. And then we're going to move, I can move over a little bit more. We're going to scoot over a little bit more to a little bit more. Okay, there. Ha! There. And then we're going to take off this. We're going to go here. Let me find the first video I want to show you first. Let's see. I should have had this better prepared before stream, but I was setting up everything. I need to still fix stuff. Let's see. They have to have it on their website, right? One moment, please. Uno minute, por favor. Okay. Does this show everything? No, that's Washington. I don't want that one. Not that one. So they have they had like the pre-show and stuff like that. I don't want that. This is the one I want, I think. Let me just make sure. Got club music going. Let's see. That's not the one I wanted. I want the one from... Not that one. That's setting the stage. I want the actual, like, keynote. Hang on. I'm going to find it. I'm finding it still. Let's see. Wonder if they have the video on the website still. Okay, okay, I found it. Perfect. Okay, okay, I found it. Good stuff. Okay. We're gonna do this. No, not that. We're gonna do this. There we go. Ha! There we go. All right. And then we're going to pop this one over here. Oh, I'm going to turn that. This. All right. Okay, so this is the keynote that I went to on Monday. So this is going to be a watch together. This is an hour and a half video. So it's going to address some things that you're going to feel like, how is this relevant to gaming and such. And we're going to tie this all in, but basically the best example is the number one question or number one comment I'm getting from a lot of people is with them stepping away from gaming, they're focused on more AI. Now they're forgetting the gaming department. And from the conversations that I've had, that's just not true. By them focusing on this aspect, it's going to trickle into gaming. So maybe that's where they started in thriving. But when you see a way of out branching and doing something that's going to help where you started your roots at is so important as well. So we're going to be able to see that through our graphics, GeForce Now, all these other programs that they have. But to see this is where the future is going and to know that it's going to trickle down to the consumer is so, so important. So we're going to go ahead and watch this. This is, again, the full keynote. Again, this is going to be like one of those like fun things. I would love to hear your comments, any feedback about it, any questions you may have. Again, all that's posted over there, pinned in the messages there. So we're going to do this. I like how they have this like label at the beginning. I was like, bro, I ain't going to read this whole thing. Ain't going to read it all. I will say this, whenever I think of this brand and anything that they do, like epilepsy viewers or photosensitivity, like ongoing, because like even at the club, it was ridiculous. It was lights everywhere. Let me know if I have to adjust audio for you guys.
Ready, go!
See, we start off with gaming. Like, the graphics are ridiculous. Hi, Creepy. Welcome on in. What game is this? I didn't know what that game was. It's very loud. Okay, I'll adjust it. Right here, is this good? Okay, much better. Good. Like, look at that, you guys! It's so crazy. Like the air. Like folding clothes. That's crazy. anybody also thinking of Baymax? So crazy. Like wind currents, excuse me? Like imagine this on like an extremely large screen, and this is everything I'm watching for the first time. I was like, oh my gosh. Now I'm assuming that's what their headquarters look like, because I'm not sure.
Welcome to the stage.
I'm not sure.
NVIDIA founder and CEO, Jensen Huang.
Okay, I need a matching jacket with this man. I love his jacket.
Hello, Las Vegas.
Hi, Thomas.
Happy New Year. Welcome to CES. Well,
I
we
need
have
that
about
jacket.
15
Look at all
keynotes
those
worth of material to
devices,
pack in
man.
here.
It's crazy.
I'm so happy to see all of you. You got 3,000 people in this auditorium. There's 2,000 people in a courtyard watching us. There's another 1,000 people apparently in the fourth floor where there were supposed to be NVIDIA show floors, all watching this keynote. And of course, millions around the world are going to be watching this.
I was in the
To kick
building,
off
but there's
new year.
people standing outside.
Well, every
It was
10
crazy.
to 15 years, the computer industry resets. A new platform shift happens. From mainframe to PC, PC to internet, internet to cloud, cloud to mobile. Each time, the world of applications target a new platform. That's why it's called a platform shift. You write new applications for a new computer. Except this time, there are two simultaneous platform shifts, in fact, happening at the same time. While we now move to AI, applications are now going to be built on top of AI. At first, people thought AIs
See,
are
I love
applications.
he's
And in fact,
explaining all
AIs
this.
are
I had
applications,
no idea what he was
but
talking about.
You're going to build applications on top of AIs. But in addition to that, how you run the software, how you develop the software fundamentally changed. The entire five-layer stack of the computer industry is being reinvented. You no longer program the software, you train the software. You don't run it on CPUs, you run it on GPUs. And whereas applications were pre-recorded, pre-compiled, and run on your device, now applications understand the context and generate every single pixel, every single token, completely from scratch every single time. Computing has been fundamentally reshaped as a result of accelerated computing, as a result of artificial intelligence. Every single layer of that five-layer cake is now being reinvented. Well, what that means is some $10 trillion or so of the last decade of computing is now being modernized to this new way of doing computing. What that means is hundreds of billions of dollars, a couple of $100 billion in VC funding each year is going into modernize and inventing this new world.
That's so much
and what
money.
It means is $100 trillion of industry, several percent of which is R&D budget, is shifting over to artificial intelligence. People ask, where is the money coming from? That's where the money is coming from. The modernization of AI to AI, the shifting of R&D budgets from classical methods to now artificial intelligence methods. Enormous amounts of investments coming into this industry, which explains why we're so busy. And this last year was no difference. This last year was incredible. This last year, there's a slide coming.
I like this. I like how
This is what
innovative this
happens when you
brand
don't
is. They
practice.
made this so simple for someone
2025
like me to
was
look
an
at.
incredible
I
year.
appreciate that.
It seemed like everything was happening all at the same time, and in fact, it probably was. The first thing, of course, is scaling laws. In 2015, the first language model that I thought was really gonna make a difference made a huge difference. It was called BERT. 2017, Transformers came. It wasn't until 5 years later, 2022, that ChatGPT moment happened, and it
I know
awakened the world
ChatGPT,
to the
that's where I'm at,
possibilities of
buddy.
artificial intelligence. Something very important happened a year after that. The first O1 model from ChatGPT, the first reasoning model, completely revolutionary, invented this idea called test time scaling, which is a very commonsensical thing. Not only did we pre-train a model to learn, we post-train it with our reinforcement learning so that it could learn skills. And now we also have test time scaling, which is another way of saying thinking. You think in real time. Each one of these phases of artificial intelligence requires an enormous amount of compute. And the computing law continued to scale. Large language models continued to get better. Meanwhile, another breakthrough happened. And this breakthrough happened in 2024. Agentic systems started to emerge. In 2025, it started to proliferate just about everywhere. Agentic models that have the ability to reason, look up information, do research, use tools, plan futures,
I like that he kind of
simulate
gives you the
outcomes.
history of what's going
All
on
of a
to lead
sudden,
up to where we're
started
at
to solve
now.
very, very important problems. One
It
of my
was
favorite
good for the consumer like
agentic
me.
models is called Cursor, which revolutionized the way we do software programming at NVIDIA. Agentic systems are going to really take off from here. Of course, there were other types of AI. We know that large language models isn't the only type of information. Wherever the universe has information, wherever the universe has structure, we could teach a large language model, a form of language model, to go understand that information, to understand its representation, and to turn that into an AI. One of the biggest, most important one is physical AI. AIs that understand the laws of nature. And then, of course, physical AIs is about AIs interacting with the world, but the world itself has information, encoded information, and that's called AI physics. AI that, in the case of physical AI, you have AI that interacts with the physical world.
Hey, Paul,
and you have
welcome on
AI
in.
physics, AI that understands the laws of
Get your
physics.
snacks. We're
And
watching
then
the
lastly,
keynote.
one of the most important things that happened last year, the advancement of open models. We can now know that AI is going to proliferate everywhere when open source, when open innovation, when innovation across every single company and every industry around the world is activated at the same time. Open models really took off last year. In fact, last year, we saw the advance of DeepSeek R1, the first open model that's a reasoning system. It caught the world by surprise, and it activated, literally, this entire movement. It's really, really exciting work. We're so happy with it. Now, we have open model systems all over the world of all different kinds, and we now know that open models have also reached the frontier. Still solidly is 6 months behind the frontier models, but every single 6 months, a new model is emerging, and these models are getting smarter and smarter. Because of that, you could see the number of downloads has exploded. The number of downloads is growing so fast because startups want to participate in the AI revolution.
The cool thing is that
large
because
companies
of these
want
building
to,
blocks,
researchers want
now
to, students want
it's
to, just
becoming
about every
accessible
single
to,
country
like
wants
he's
to.
saying, like students,
How is it possible
researchers,
that
a lot of other
intelligence,
people.
the digital form of intelligence, will leave anyone behind? And so open models has really revolutionized artificial intelligence last year. This entire industry is going to be reshaped as a result of that. Now, we had this inkling some time ago. You might have heard that several years ago, we just started to build and operate our own AI supercomputers. We call them DGX clouds. A lot of people asked, are you going into the cloud business? The answer is no. We're building these DGX supercomputers for our own use. Well, it turns out we have billions of dollars of supercomputers in operation so that we could develop our open models. I am so pleased with the work
So
that we're
this
doing.
is really cool.
It is starting to attract attention all over the world and all over the industries because we are
Look
doing
how
frontier
big they are
AI
on
model work
there.
in so many different domains.
They're
The work
almost
that we did in
double the
proteins,
rest of the
in digital
industry.
biology,
That's
La Proteina to be able to
crazy.
synthesize and generate proteins, OpenFold 3 to understand the structure of proteins, Evo 2, how to understand and generate multiple proteins, otherwise the beginnings of
What up,
cellular,
Ninja? How you
cellular
doing? Welcome
representation.
in.
Earth 2, AI that understands the laws of physics. The work that we did with ForecastNet, the work that we did with CorDiff, really revolutionized the way that people are doing weather prediction. Nemotron, we're now doing groundbreaking work there. The first hybrid
To be fair, he says
transformer SSM
groundbreaking,
model
like
that's
excessive,
incredibly
but like
fast
when you're
can-
doing
and
this, like
therefore
what other words can you
for a
think
very
of on the
long
fly
time,
here, right?
Or can think very quickly with that for not a very long time and produce very, very smart,
We're
intelligent
watching
answers.
the
Nemotron
NVIDIA
3 is
keynotes. We're
groundbreaking
talking
work, and you
about
can
my
expect us
weekend with
to deliver
them,
other
or like
versions of
week with
Nemotron 3
them.
in the near future.
All of it's focused on
Cosmos,
that GeForce now. But right now we're just watching the
world
base
foundation
keynote that was
model,
presented
one that
that
understands
I was
how
able
the
to
world
attend.
works.
And this is Jensen, the
Groot,
CEO
a humanoid
of
robotic
NVIDIA.
system, articulation,
So a lot of this is going over
mobility,
AI.
locomotion. These models, these technologies are now being integrated, and in each one of these cases,
Side note,
open
like
to the
my
world.
V2 model
Frontier
slays with
humanoid
this
robotics
company.
models
They were
open to
like,
the
oh
world.
my gosh, we
And
love
then
it. I'm
today,
like,
we're
yeah,
gonna
she's
talk a
very
little bit about
techie.
Alpamayo, the work that we've been doing in self-driving cars. Not only do we open source the models, we also open source the data that we use to train those models. Because in that way, only
It
in
is
that
very
way can
cool.
you truly
Very,
trust
very cool.
how the models came to be. We open source all the models. We help you make derivatives from them. We have a whole suite of libraries. We call the NEMO libraries, physics NEMO libraries, and the Clara NEMO libraries, each bio NEMO libraries. Each one of these libraries are life cycle management systems of AIs, so that you could process the data, you could generate data, you could train
I
the
can't
model.
wait to show you guys a
could create the
specific
model,
thing that I
evaluate
was
the
like
model, guardrail
geeking
the
out
model,
on during this
all the way to
presentation.
deploying
There's
the model.
two moments I really
Each one
geeked out.
of these libraries are incredibly complex, and all of it is open sourced. And so now, on top of this platform, NVIDIA is a frontier AI model builder. And we build it in a very special way. We build it completely in the open so that we can enable every company, every industry, every country to be part of this AI revolution. I'm incredibly proud of the work that we're doing there. In fact, if you notice the charts, the chart shows that our
They're
contribution
almost
to this
double
industry,
the
is
industry.
bar
That's
none.
crazy.
And you're going to see us, in fact,
I
continue to
still
do that,
love
if
that
not
chart. I'm like,
accelerate.
wow, no big
These
deal.
models are also world-class. Not only are they open, they're also top the leaderboards. This is an area where we're very proud. They top leaderboards in intelligence. We have
That's a
important
lot of
models
graphs.
that understand multi-modality documents, otherwise known as PDFs. The most valuable content in the world are captured in PDFs. But it takes artificial intelligence to find out what's inside, interpret what's inside, and help you read it. And so our PDF retrievers, our PDF parsers are world-class. Our speech recognition models, absolutely world-class. Our retrieval models, basically search,
Let me guess,
semantic
world-class?
search, AI search, the database engine of the modern AI era, world-class. So we're
World-class,
on top
let's
of
go.
leaderboards
Give me another
constantly.
world-class.
This is an area we're very proud of. And all of that is in service of your ability to build AI agents. This is really
That's
a
right,
groundbreaking area
Ninja.
of development. You know, at first, when ChatGPT came out, people said, you know, gosh, it produced really interesting results, but it hallucinated greatly. And the reason why it hallucinated, of course, it could memorize everything in the past, but it can't memorize everything in the future, in the current. And so it needs to be grounded in research. It has to do fundamental research before it answers a question. The ability to reason about, do I have to do research? Do I have to use tools? How do I break up a problem into steps? Each one of these steps, something that the AI model knows how to do, and together it is able to compose it into a sequence
Ninja,
of
it
steps
is.
to perform something
It
it's never
is.
done before, never been trained to do. This is the wonderful capability of reasoning. We can encounter a circumstance we've never seen before and break it down into circumstances.
Like this stuff gets
and
cool,
knowledge
Ninja.
or
You'll
rules
like this.
that we know how to do because we've experienced it in the past. And so the ability for AI models now to be able to reason, incredibly powerful. The reasoning capability of agents opened the doors to all of these different applications. We no longer have to train an AI model to know everything on day one, just as we don't have to know everything on day one, that we should be able to, in every circumstance, reason about how to solve that problem. Large language models has now made this fundamental leap, the ability to use reinforcement learning and chain of thought and search and planning and all these different techniques in reinforcement learning has made it possible for us to have this basic
I'm not familiar with
capability.
Skynet.
And it's also now completely open sourced. But the thing that's really terrific is another breakthrough that happened. And the first time I saw it was with Ervin's Perplexity, the search company, the AI search company, really innovative company. And the first time I realized they were using multiple models at the same time,
at the
I
time,
thought it
but
was
like I think
completely
next
genius.
year,
Of
like
course
I'm
we would
gonna
do that.
prepare better and like
Of course,
stream a lot
an
more for
AI
you guys.
would also
It was my
call
first
upon
time
all
going.
of
I
the
didn't
world's
know.
great AIs to solve the problem it wants to solve at any part of the reasoning chain. And this is
Terminator.
the reason why AIs are really multimodal, meaning they understand speech and images and text and videos and 3D graphics and proteins. It's multimodal. It's also multi-model,
Right.
meaning that it should be able to use any model that best fits the task. It is multi-cloud by definition, therefore, because these AI models are sitting in all these different places, and it also is hybrid cloud. Because if you're an enterprise company or you built a robot or whatever that device is, sometimes it's at the edge, sometimes a radio cell tower, maybe sometimes it's in an enterprise, or maybe it's a place where a hospital where you need to have the data in real time right next to you. Whatever those applications are, we know now this is what an AI application looks like in the future. Or another way to think about that, because future applications are built on AIs, this is the basic framework of future applications.
Yeah.
This basic framework, this basic structure of agentic AIs that could do the things that I'm talking about, that is multi-model, has now turbocharged AI startups of
I
all
want
kinds.
his jacket. Can you do a
And
jacket
now you can
giveaway?
also,
I want the jacket.
because of all of the open models and all the tools that we provided you, you could also customize your AIs to teach your AI skills that nobody else is teaching. Nobody else is causing their AI to become intelligent or smart in that way.
Jacket,
You could do
right?
it for yourself. And that's the work that we do with Nemotron, Nemo,
I
and
feel like this
all
is
of
his
the things that we
signature
do with
thing. It
open
reminds me of
models
Steve
is
Jobs with
intended
his
to do.
Reebok and
You
his,
put a smart router in
long
front of
sleeve
it,
turtlenecks.
and that router is essentially a manager that decides which one of the tasks, based on the intention of the prompts that you give it, which one of the models is best fit for that application, for that solving that problem.
I know.
Okay? So now, when you think about this architecture, what do you have? When you think about this architecture, all of a sudden you have an AI that's on the one hand, completely customizable by you. Something that you could teach to do your own
that's the
very
thing. It's
skills
like
for your
it's teaching.
company.
Like they went
Something
advanced,
that's
and now they're
domain
making these
secret.
consumer
Something where
related for you to
have deep
teach your
domain
own
expertise.
AI.
Maybe you've got all of the data that you need to train that AI model. On the other hand, your AI is always at the frontier, by definition. You're always at the frontier on the one hand, you're always customized on the other hand, and it should just run. And
Yeah.
so we thought we would make the simplest of examples to make it available to you. This entire framework we call a blueprint. And we have blueprints that are integrated into enterprise SaaS platforms all over the world, and we're really pleased with the progress. But what we do is show you a short example of something that anybody can do.
Listen, I think this is the part that we're getting to. I geeked out so hard, my brain was like, I already need this. Yep, this is what I want.
Let's build a personal
This right
assistant.
here, it's so cute.
I want it to help me with my calendar, emails, to-do lists, and even keep an eye on my
I was
home.
like, I need a personal assistant for
I
all
use
that.
Brev to turn my DGX Spark into a personal cloud. So I can use the same interface whether I'm using a cloud GPU or a DGX
Wait
Spark.
for it.
I use a Frontier Model API to easily get started.
Wait for
I
it.
wanted to help me with my emails, so I create an email tool for my agent to call. I I want my emails to stay private, so I'll add an open model that's running locally on the Spark. Now for any job, I want the agent to use the right model for the right task, so I'll use an intent-based model router. This way, prompts that need email will stay on my Spark, and everything else can call the Frontier model. I want my assistant to interact with my world, so I'll hook it up to Hugging Face's Reachy mini robot.
This right here.
My agent controls the head, ears, and camera of the Reachy
I
with
want
tool
one
calls.
so bad.
I want to give Reachy a voice, and I really like 11 Labs, so I'll hook up their API.
Hi, I'm Richie, running on DGX Spark.
Hey Richie, what's on my to-do list today?
I'm dying.
Your to-do list today:
My birthday's in June. I need
grab
this.
groceries, eggs, milk, butter, and send Jensen the new script.
Okay, let's send Jensen that update. Tell him we'll have it for him by the end of the day.
Will do.
Reachy, there's a sketch too. Can you turn it into an architectural rendering?
Sure.
Richie just did that.
Nice. Now make a video and show me around the room.
Richie just did
Here
this.
you go.
That's great. With Brev, I can share access to my Spark and Reachy, so I'm going to share it with Anna.
Hey Richie, what's Potato up to?
He's on the couch. I remember you don't like this. I'll tell him to get off. Potato, off the couch.
With all the progress in open source, it's incredible to see what you can build. I'd love to see what you create.
Look at that. Side note, I got to see Richie in person, and I will tell you this. Like, the questions that I asked was like, if I had this, could it interact with Twitch chat? Could it do, like literally we like brainstormed all these creative ideas with it. And like, NVIDIA was like, you could put stickers on it during Surviving for Santa for the sponsors. I was like, bro, like, I'm telling you, like, to see AI going in this direction and to see things in the consumer way of how, like, even as a VTuber and a streamer of how it can do things is phenomenal. So I'm a huge fan of Reachy. I would love to get a Reachy, and like, you guys, we could program it to where it could like sass your streamer, or it could sit there and like praise Nancy Wheeler, or anytime I say Nancy Wheeler, it could be like, you said something negative about Nancy, we're adding time to the clock. Like that would be really, really cool. So it may not be able to fine tune to that level yet, but the fact that they have technology and it can get there, it's just working toward it. So I mean, again, these are things where people can learn how to program to make their own stuff. Like that's the whole element of it. What a resource of creativity. Yeah, it is. So I'm a huge fan of the Reachy robot. I totally want one. It's adorable. I think they like started around like $300 to around like $500 to $600. You assemble it yourself too. So like, yeah, though that is a consumer priceable thing that people could purchase and own.
Isn't that incredible?
I'm a big
Now,
fan.
The amazing
I'm a big
thing
fan.
is, that is utterly trivial now. That is utterly trivial now. And yet, just a couple of years ago, all of that would have been impossible. Absolutely unimaginable. Well, this basic framework, this basic way of building applications, using language models that are pre-trained,
I want Reachy.
and they're proprietary, they're frontier, combine it with customized language models into a agentic framework, a reasoning framework that allows you to access tools and files and maybe even connect to other agents. This is basically the architecture of AI applications or applications in the
Agree.
modern
It's a lot
age.
cheaper than I thought it would be
And the ability
too.
for us to create these applications are incredibly fast. And notice, if you give it this application information that it's never seen before, or in a structure that is not represented exactly as you thought, it can still reason through it and make its best effort to reason through the data, the information, to try to understand
We can look
how
up
to solve the
Reachy
problem.
after the keynote. I can
Artificial
look it up.
intelligence. Okay, so this basic framework is now being integrated, and everything that I just described, we have the benefit of working with some of the world's leading.
We can pause it for a second. Let me look up. Reachy mini robot. Let's see. Look how cute he is. It's so cute. So yeah, it starts at $2.99 and you assemble it yourself. And it's ready to ship by the end of summer. So it's like right now you could put your order in to get it. What's Reachy 2? I'm curious. No, I don't want that. No. That's ugly. No, I'm good. I don't want that. So these ones have like different apps that you can do. So conversation, emotions, hand tracker, clock, play red light, green light with Reachy Mini, marionette, capture motion sound, radio coding, dances, gestures, language tutor, ukulele, conversation, mirror, like all of these different things it can do. Language, Amazon this object, take a picture of an object and generate an Amazon link. Personal assistant, DJ dances with your beat. Describe my room. Grok. Like all of these different programs, and it looks like you can also create. So this is where like you're able to go in and create whatever you want to, right? So choose your performance. So you choose which one you're doing, the light or the mini wireless. So yeah. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Topics, trending. They have a Discord server too, which is really cool. They have customer support. So yeah, this is on my list of I need this. You guys, I've seen people like that they told me that they were talking about that they get 3D printer outfits. Literally, you guys could get like a Nancy Wheeler like printed sweater on it type of thing if you have the right like shell like dimensions for it. So it's really, really cool. Really, really cool. All right, where'd our video go? Where'd he go? Oh, here he is.
Enterprise platform companies.
The fact that NVIDIA, like that's an ongoing conversation with them. We talked so much about Nancy Wheeler. It's ridiculous.
Palantir, for example, their entire AI and data processing platform is being integrated and accelerated by NVIDIA today. ServiceNow, the world's leading customer service and employee service platform. Snowflake, the world's top data platform in the cloud. Incredible work that is being done there. CodeRabbit, we're using CodeRabbit all over NVIDIA. CrowdStrike, creating AIs to detect, to find AI threats. NetApp, their data platform now has NVIDIA's semantic AI on top of it and agentic systems on top of it for them to do customer service. But the important thing is this, not only is this the way that you develop applications now, this is going to be the user interface of your platform. So whether it's Palantir or ServiceNow or Snowflake and many other companies that we're working with, the agentic system is the interface. It's no longer Excel with a bunch of squares that you enter information into. Maybe it's no longer just command line. All of that multimodality information is now possible, and the way you interact with your platform is much more, well, if you will, simple, like you're interacting with people. And so that's enterprise AI being revolutionized by agentic systems. The next thing is physical AI. This is an area that you've seen me talk about for several years. In fact, we've been working on this for 8 years.
8 years, that's
how
crazy.
do you take something that is intelligent inside a computer and interacts with you with screens and speakers to something that can interact with the world, meaning it can understand the common sense of how the world works. Object permanence. If I look away and I look back, that object is still there. Causality. If I push it, it tips over. It understands friction and gravity. It understands inertia. That a heavy truck rolling down the road is going to need a little bit more time to stop. That a ball is going to keep on rolling. These ideas are common sense to even a little child, but for AI, it's completely unknown. And so we have to create a system that allows AIs to learn the common sense of the physical world, learn its laws, but also to be able to, of course, learn from data, and the data is quite scarce, and to be able to evaluate whether that AI is working, meaning it has to simulate in an environment. How does an AI know that the actions that it's performing is consistent with what it should do if it doesn't have the ability to simulate the response of the physical world back on its actions? The response of its actions is really important to simulate. Otherwise, there's no way to evaluate it. It's different every time. And so this basic system requires 3 computers. One computer, of course, the one that we know that NVIDIA builds for training the AI models. Another computer that we know is to inference the models. Inferencing the model is essentially a robotics computer that runs in a car or runs in a robot or runs in a factory, runs anywhere at the edge. But there has to be another computer that's designed for simulation. And simulation is at the heart of almost everything NVIDIA does. This is where we are most comfortable. And simulation was really the foundations of almost everything that we've done with physical AI. So we have 3 computers and multiple stacks that run on these computers, these libraries, to make them useful. Omniverse is our digital twin, physically based simulation world. Cosmos, as I mentioned earlier, is our foundation model, not a foundation model for language, but a foundation model of the world. And it's also aligned with language. You could say something like, what's happening to the ball? And they'll tell you the ball's rolling down the street. And so a world foundation model, and then, of course, the robotics models. We have 2 of them. One of them is called Groot. The other one's called Alpamayo that I'm going to tell you about. Now, one of the most important things that we have to do with physical AI is to create the data to train the AI in the
they're
first place.
happier
Where
in
does that
the
data come from?
simulation side. That's what they're
Rather
very
than,
known for.
Instead of having languages, because we created a bunch of text that are what we consider ground truth that the AI can learn from, how do we teach an AI the ground truth of physics? There are lots and lots of videos, but hardly enough to capture the diversity and the type of interactions that we need. And so this is where great minds came together and transformed what used to be compute into data. Now, using synthetic data generation that is grounded and conditioned by the laws of physics, grounded and conditioned by ground truth, we can now selectively, cleverly generate data that we can then use to train the AI. So for example, what comes into this AI, this Cosmos AI world model on the left, over here,
how you doing?
is
Thank you for the lurk.
the output of a traffic simulator. Now this traffic simulator is hardly enough for an AI to learn from. We can take this, put it into a Cosmos foundation model.
You know what, Snoo? If you have any questions specifically for NVIDIA, you can post it in the Discord server. There's a prompt there. You can click on it, write any of your, be detailed. Be very detailed as if I gave it to someone and they can give answers. Any questions you guys may have, write those out. And they're going to pass those around. So again, we are more focused on GeForce now. But if you guys have other questions, please let us know, and we can figure that out. But if you can't find it through a basic Google search, understandable with that one. But yeah, they're so kind. Again, bear with them. They're over at CES right now. It may take us some time, but GeForce Now, I can get those answers like pretty quick. These other ones may take some time.
And generate surround video that is physically based and physically plausible that the AI can now learn from. And there are so many examples of this. Let me show you what Cosmos can do.
We're still they haven't shown
The
everything
ChatGPT
going on
moment
there.
for physical AI is nearly here. But the challenge is clear. The physical world is diverse and unpredictable. Collecting real-world training data is slow and costly, and it's never enough. The answer is synthetic data. It starts with NVIDIA Cosmos, an open, frontier world foundation model for physical AI. Pre-trained on
I'm
internet-scale
home
video,
now.
real driving and robotics data, and 3D simulation. Cosmos learned a unified representation of the world, able to align language, images,
Yeah.
3D, and action.
I was there just for
It
NVIDIA.
performs physical AI skills like generation, reasoning, and trajectory prediction. From a single image, Cosmos generates realistic video. From 3D scene descriptions, physically coherent motion. From driving telemetry and sensor logs, surround video.
That's crazy.
From planning simulators, multi-camera environments,
That's crazy.
or from scenario prompts, it brings edge cases to life. Developers can run interactive closed-loop simulations in Cosmos. When actions are made, the world responds. Cosmos reasons. It analyzes edge scenarios, breaks them down into familiar physical interactions, and reasons about what could happen next,
So like for them, they saw the ball rolling
Cosmos
and they had a
turns
feeling that
compute
someone would
into
run
data.
after the ball.
training AVs for the long tail, and robots how to adapt for every scenario.
I know, it's incredible. Cosmos is the world's leading foundation model, world foundation model. It's been downloaded millions of times, used all over the world, getting the world ready for this new era of physical AI. We use it ourselves as well. We use it ourselves to create our self-driving car, using it for scenario generation and using it for evaluation. We could have something that allows us to effectively travel billions, trillions of miles, but doing it inside a computer. And we've made enormous progress. Today, we're announcing Alpamayo, the world's first thinking, reasoning, autonomous vehicle AI.
Now this is paired up with
is trained
Mercedes.
end to end, literally from camera in to actuation out. The camera in, lots and lots of miles that are driven by itself using human demonstration. And we have lots and lots of miles that are generated by Cosmos. In addition to that, hundreds of thousands of examples are labeled very, very carefully so that we could teach the car how to drive. Alpamayo does something that's really special. Not only does it take sensor input and activates steering wheel, brakes, and acceleration, it also reasons about what action it is about to take. It tells you what action it's going to take, the reasons by which it came about that action, and then, of course, the trajectory. All of these are coupled directly and trained very specifically by a large combination of human-trained and as well as Cosmos-generated data. The result of it is just really incredible. Not only does your car drive as you would expect it to drive, and it drives so naturally because it learned directly from human demonstrators, but in every single scenario, when it comes up to the scenario, it reasons about, it tells you what it's going to do, and it reasons about what's about to do. Now, the reason why this is so important is because of the long tail of driving. It's impossible for us to simply collect every single possible scenario for everything that could ever happen in every single country, in every single circumstance that's possibly ever going to happen for all of population. However, it is very likely that every scenario, if decomposed into a whole bunch of other smaller scenarios, are quite normal for you to understand. And so these long tails will be decomposed into quite normal circumstances that the car knows how to deal with. It just needs to reason about it. And so let's take a look. Everything you're about to see is one shot.
This is
It's,
really cool.
no
This
hands.
is really cool, you guys.
Routing to your destination. Buckle up.
So this is all one shot, live. Like, they're speeding it. Look at that display. It's across the entire thing. It's so pretty. So cool. Like, the car knows when to drive around when another car's parking. Like, it's not just like dumb just standing there. You know what I mean? And it's even in the middle of the red light. It was already turning. Like, very like real time, like driving skills that all of us would do. And this is like a pretty traffic time too. Turn signals on. Made a little space for that pedestrian on the side. That is so impressive. So when they were talking about, like, during the pre-show, Mercedes was talking about the different tiers of AI.
You have arrived.
So this is, I believe, a tier 3. This is a tier 3. Which is pretty cool. I like that.
We started
That was
working on
impressive.
self-driving cars 8 years ago. And the reason for that is because we reasoned early on that deep learning and artificial intelligence was going to reinvent the entire computing stack. And if we were ever going to understand how to navigate ourselves and how to guide the industry towards this new future,
I know, right?
we have to get good at building the
You'll
entire
see some
stack.
outtakes with it. It's
Well,
really cute with the
As I
squirrel
mentioned
later.
earlier, AI is a 5-layer cake. The lowest layer is land, power, and shell. In the case of robotics, the lowest layer is the car. The next layer above it is chips. GPUs, networking chips, CPUs, all that kind of stuff. The next layer above that is the infrastructure. That infrastructure, in this particular case, as I mentioned with physical AI, is Omniverse and Cosmos. And then above that are the models. And in the case of the models above that I've just shown you, the model here is called AlphaMayo. And AlphaMayo today is open sourced. This incredible body of work, it took several thousand people. Our AV team is several thousand people, just to put in perspective. Our partner, Ola, I think Ola's here in the audience somewhere.
Ola's with Mercedes. He's with
Agreed to
Mercedes.
partner with us 5 years ago to go make all of this possible. We imagine that someday 1 billion cars on the road will all be autonomous. You could either have it be a robo-taxi that you're orchestrating and renting from somebody, or you could own it and it's driving by itself. Or you could decide to drive for yourself.
Imagine
but
that,
every
like in
single car
Vegas,
will
right?
have autonomous vehicle
So
capability.
crazy.
Every single car will
No
be
more
AI
like
powered.
like
And so the
taxi driver, like
the
Uber,
model
like
layer in this case
would
is
be
Alpha Mio,
revolutionary.
and the application above that is the Mercedes-Benz. Okay, and so this
That's a nice looking
entire
car,
stack
though.
is
It's
our
nice.
first NVIDIA first entire stack endeavor, and we've been working on it for this entire time. And I'm just so happy that
Very
the
cool.
first AV car from NVIDIA is going to be on the road in Q1, and then it goes Europe in Q2, here in the United States in Q1, then Europe in Q2, and I think it's Asia in Q3 and Q4. And the powerful thing is that we're going to keep on updating it with next versions of Alpha Mio and versions after that. There's no question in my mind now that this is going to be one of the largest robotics industries, and I'm so happy that we worked on it. And it taught us an enormous amount about how to help the rest of the world build robotic systems. That deep understanding and knowing how to build it ourselves, building the entire infrastructure ourselves, and knowing what kind of chips a robotic system would need. In this particular case, dual Orins, the next generation dual Thors. These processors are designed for robotic systems and was designed for the highest level of safety capability. This car just got rated. It just went to production. The Mercedes-Benz CLA was just rated by NCAP, the world's safest car.
Safest car. Like, take that in. Tesla's been in this
It is
market
the
for
only
how
system
long?
that I know
Safest
that has
car.
every single line of code, the chip, the system, every line of code, safety certified. The entire model
As a
system
mama
is based
bear,
on
that
sensors
feels
are
good.
diverse and redundant, and so is the
Steve
self-driving car
Harrington,
stack.
let's get the kids in the
The
car.
Alpha
They're
Mio
going to be
stack is
safe with
trained
you and
end-to-end
me
and has
and
incredible
in this
skills.
car.
However, nobody knows until you drive it
Imagine
forever
Steve and I
that it's
driving
going
in
to
a
be perfectly safe.
Mercedes-Benz.
And so
Sorry,
the
with Dustin.
way we guardrail
We'd
that
have Dustin
is
in
with
the car,
another
clearly.
software stack, an
Baby
entire
Bliss.
AV stack underneath.
And
That
then we'll
entire
have
AV
one
stack is built
passenger
to
to
be fully
save.
traceable, and it's taken us some 5 years to build that, some 6, 7 years actually, to build that second stack. These two software stacks are mirroring each other, and then we have a policy and safety evaluator decide, is this something that I'm very confident and can reason about driving very safely? If so, I'm gonna have Alpha Mio do it. If it's a circumstance that I'm not very confident in, and the safety policy evaluator decide that we're gonna go back to a simpler, safer guardrail system, then it goes back to the classical AV stack. We're the only car in the world with both of these AV stacks running, and all safety systems should have diversity and redundancy. Well, our vision is that someday, every single car, every single truck will be autonomous, and we've been working towards that future. This entire stack is vertically integrated, of course, in the case of Mercedes-Benz. We built the entire stack together. We're gonna deploy the car, we're gonna operate the stack, we're gonna maintain the stack for as long as we shall live. However, like everything else we do as a company, we build the entire stack, but the entire stack is open for the ecosystem.
Cookie,
And the
hi
ecosystem
Cookie, welcome
working with
in.
us to build L4 and robo-taxis is
All
expanding.
right, hang on a second. So these are all the brands that they're working with, and you're going to see a couple of them that you're familiar. Some of them you're not, but like Sony is like one where you're like, okay, all right. It's Mercedes, Uber. Wish I was at CES. Yeah, I went to CES. NVIDIA was kind enough to where they invited me, and it was really great. We had a good time. I was only there for their content, for their demos and such. But next year I plan to be there for the entire CES. That would be great. So we'll see. We'll see. Crossing fingers and toes. But hope you're doing good, Cookie.
And it's going everywhere. I fully expect this to be, well, this is already a giant business for us.
Yeah, I already
It's a giant
completed all of
business
my
for us because
demos
they
and
use it
stuff
for training
beforehand. They
training
knew
data,
that I'm a mom,
processing
and so
data
we're
and
trying to
training
get
their
my
models.
schedule to where I
They
got
use
my
it for
baby
synthetic
girl.
data
So
generation. In some cases, in some companies, they pretty much just build
Cookie, let me tell you, those nerds know how to party. There was a great time, but they know how to party.
the computers, the chips that are inside the car. And some companies work with us full stack. Some companies work with us some partial part of that. Okay, so It doesn't matter how much you decide to use.
Yeah,
You know,
we
my
did
only request
clubbing.
is use a little bit of NVIDIA wherever you
It was
can.
fine.
And the entire thing is open. Now, this is going to be the first large-scale, mainstream AI, physical AI market. And this is now, I think we can all agree, fully here. And this inflection point of going from not autonomous vehicles to autonomous vehicles is probably happening right about this time. In the next 10 years, I'm fairly certain a very, very large percentage of the world's cars will be autonomous or highly autonomous. But this basic technique that I just described in using the 3 computers, using synthetic data generation and simulation, applies to every form of robotic systems. It could be a robot that is just an articulator, a manipulator. Maybe it's a mobile robot. Maybe it's a fully humanoid robot. And so the next journey, the next era for robotic systems
you
is going
guys,
to be
I lost it.
robots.
I lost
And these
it.
robots
I
are going
was
to come
so
in all kinds of different
excited.
sizes.
Hang on.
And I invited some friends. Hey, guys.
They're so
Hurry up. Did you tell R2-D2 you're going to be here?
Look at
Did you?
them.
And C-3PO?
I was screaming. Look how cute.
Okay, all right, come here. Before,
That one's
you know,
kinda
one of the things
dancing.
one of the things that's really, you have Jetsons. They have little Jetson computers inside them. They're trained inside Omniverse. And
They're
how about
so
this? Let's show
cute.
everybody the simulator that,
Oh,
you,
they're so
that you guys
cute.
learned
You don't
how to,
understand how cute
how to
they
be
are.
robots in. You guys want to look at that? Okay, let's look at that. Run it, please.
Oh. They're kicking all the dirt and the screws. So cute. So cute.
Isn't that amazing?
So cute.
That's how you learn to be a robot. You did it all inside Omniverse. And the robot simulator is called Isaac. Isaac Sim and Isaac
they're so
Lab.
cute.
And anybody who wants to build a robot, you know, nobody's going to be as cute as you.
That's right.
But now we
He
have
reassures them
all-
so much that
look
they
at
are
all
the
these,
cutest.
Look at all these friends that we
Listen
have
to
building
'em.
robots. We're building big ones. No, like I said, nobody's as cute as you guys are. But we have Neurobot and we have
Yeah, I gotta
Agibot
reassure
over
them they're
there.
the cutest. That's
You know, we
okay.
have LG over here.
at them
They just
looking
announced a
at
new
them.
robot. Caterpillar, they've got the largest robots ever. That one delivers
They're
food to your
taking all
house.
that in.
That's connected to Uber Eats, and that's Surf Robot. I love those guys.
I like how they look at Jensen every
Agility,
so often like, bro,
Boston
okay.
Dynamics. Incredible. You got surgical robots. You got manipulated robots from Franca.
Okay,
You got
some of these
Universal
robots are
Robotics
really
robot.
ugly though. I'm gonna be
Incredible
real.
number of
Those
different
ones
robots.
are the cutest.
And so this is
Okay,
the
but
next
the
chapter.
Richi's
We're gonna
really
talk
cute.
A
The
lot more
Richi's
about robotics in the
adorable.
future. But it's not just about the robots. In the end, I know everything's about you guys. It's about getting there. And one of the most important industries in the world that will be revolutionized by physical AI and AI physics
Did you?
is
Okay.
the industry that started all of us.
That's pretty
At
cool.
NVIDIA, it wouldn't be possible if not for the companies that I'm about to talk to. And I'm so happy that all of them, starting with Cadence, is going to accelerate everything Cadence. CUDA-X integrated into all of their simulations and solvers. They've got
Look at that.
NVIDIA physical AIs that they're going to use for different physical
one on the-
plants
the
and plant
orange one on the
simulations.
right
You've
had
got AI
more of the
physics being
personality.
integrated into these systems. So whether it's an EDA or STA, and in the future robotic systems,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
gonna
no, the
have
gear has to be
basically
super
the same
heavy.
technology that made you guys possible. Now completely revolutionize these design stacks. Synopsys. Without Synopsys, you know, Synopsys and Cadence are completely completely indispensable in the world of chip design.
They have
Synopsys
Amazon,
leads
Dell,
in,
Google,
logic design and
Microsoft,
and IP.
Lenovo.
In the case of Cadence, they lead physical design, the place and route, and emulation and verification. Cadence is incredible at emulation and verification. Both of them are moving into the world of system design and system simulation. And so in the future, we're going to design your chips inside Cadence and inside Synopsys. We're going to design your systems and emulate the whole thing and simulate everything inside these tools. That's your future. We're going to give, yeah, you're going to be born inside these platforms. Pretty amazing, right? And so we're so happy that we're working with these industries. Just as we've integrated NVIDIA into Palantir and ServiceNow, we're integrating NVIDIA into the most computationally intensive simulation industries, Synopsys and Cadence. And today we're announcing that Siemens is also doing the same thing. We're going to integrate CUDA-X, physical AI, agentic AI, NeMo, Nemotron, deeply integrated into the world of Siemens.
I love the
reason for that
orange
is
one.
this.
He was super animated.
First,
Like
we
the one on
designed
the
the
left
chips,
looks like a little bit more confused
and
at
all
life.
of it in the future will be accelerated by NVIDIA. You're going to be very happy about that. We're going to have agentic chip designers and system designers working with us, helping us do design, just as we have agentic software engineers helping our software engineers code today. And so we'll have agentic chip designers and system designers. We're going to create you inside this. But then we have to build you. We have to build the plants, the factories that manufacture you. We have to design the manufacturing lines that assemble all of you. And these manufacturing plants are going to be essentially
I
gigantic
appreciate
robots.
that he's talking to
Incredible,
the
isn't
audience,
that
but
right?
also talking to the robot.
I know. And so you're going to be designed in a computer. You're going to be made in a computer. You're going to be tested and evaluated in a computer long before you have to spend any time dealing with gravity. I know. Do you know how to deal with gravity?
They like that word, gravity. No, they don't know what to, look at the one on the right. I think he actually was able to jump. He jumped. Look. The other one couldn't figure it out. He's trying.
Okay, all right, don't show off. Okay, so now
Don't show off.
the industry that made NVIDIA possible. I'm just so happy that now the technology that we're creating is at a level of sophistication and capability that we can now help them revolutionize their industry. And so what started with them, we now have the opportunity to go back and help them revolutionize theirs. Let's take a look at the stuff that we're going to do with Siemens. Come on.
Breakthroughs in physical AI are letting AI move from screens to our physical world. And just in time, as the world builds factories of every kind for chips, computers, life-saving drugs, and AI. As the global labor shortage worsens, we need automation powered by physical AI and robotics more than ever. This, where AI meets the world's largest physical industries, is the foundation of NVIDIA and Siemens' partnership.
Dude, that guy's
For
tall.
nearly 2 centuries, Siemens has built the world's industries. And now, it is reinventing it for the age of AI. Siemens is integrating NVIDIA CUDA-X libraries, AI models, and Omniverse into its portfolio
Leave us
of
short
EDA,
little Asian people alone, Cookie.
CAE, and digital twin tools and platforms. Together,
I think
we're
he's
bringing
probably
physical
like
AI to the full
5'7".
industrial life cycle.
It's gonna be my guess, 5'8".
From design and simulation to production
Yeah, we are normal.
and operations.
No, we collectively
We
are
stand at
normal.
the beginning
Cookie.
of a new industrial revolution, the age of physical AI, built by NVIDIA and Siemens for the next age of industries.
Incredible, right, guys?
Look how cute they are, and they know when to walk
What do you
back
think?
over to him too.
All right, I'll hang on tight. Just hang on tight. And so this is, if you look at
Hi,
the
Foxy.
world's models, There's no
But
question.
look how they're
OpenAI
like
is
curious. They're looking on the
leading
floor. They
token
look at the
generator today.
screen.
More OpenAI tokens are generated than just
I like
about
the
anything
orange
else.
one.
The
He's so
second
personality
largest group-
filled.
The second largest is probably open models. And my guess is that over time, because there are so many companies, so many researchers, so many different types of domains and modalities, that open source models will be by far the largest. Let's talk about somebody really special. You guys want to do that?
This is really cool.
Let's talk about Vera Rubin. Vera Rubin, yeah, go ahead. She's an American astronomer. She was the first to observe. She noticed that the tails of the galaxies were moving about as fast as the center of the galaxies. Well, I know, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Newtonian physics would say, just like the solar system, the planets further away from the sun is circling the sun slower than the planets closer to the sun. And therefore, it makes no sense that this happens unless there's invisible bodies, we call them, she discovered dark matter, that occupy space even though we don't see it. And so Vera Rubin is the person that we named our next computer after. Isn't that a good idea? I know.
Aww.
Okay, Vera Rubin is designed
need
to
confetti
address
guns, I
this
swear.
fundamental challenge that we have. The amount of computation necessary for AI is skyrocketing. The demand for NVIDIA GPUs is skyrocketing. It's skyrocketing because models are increasing by a factor of 10.
So again, the GPUs are like needed more so, okay?
Of a magnitude every single year. And not to mention
the one part, I don't know if it's showing it, but there was a part where the tech crashed and we were cracking jokes about it. I think it like in the live, it crashed sooner, but they clipped it out. It was really funny.
As I mentioned, O1's introduction was an inflection point for AI. Instead of a one-shot answer, inference is now a thinking process. And in order to teach the AI how to think, reinforcement learning and very significant computation was introduced into post-training. It's no longer supervised fine-tuning, or otherwise known as imitation
He has a
learning or
teleprompter. He has a
supervision training.
teleprompter.
You now have
sure.
reinforcement learning, essentially the computer trying different iterations itself, learning how to perform
But he
a
was
task.
able to like
The
wing
amount
it though
of
too.
computation
Like, you know what I mean? It's
for
not like he didn't know what to
pre-training, for
say. He was
post-training,
able to
for
wing
test
some
time
of it.
scaling has exploded as a result of that. And now every
Foxy,
single
it was
inference that we
amazing.
do, instead of just one shot, the number of tokens, you could just see the
NVIDIA
AI's
knows
think,
how to
which we
party,
appreciate.
and I can't
The
keep
longer
up
it
with
thinks,
them.
oftentimes it produces a better answer. And so test time scaling causes the number of tokens to be generated
so
increase
tired.
by 5x every single year. Not to mention, meanwhile, the race is on for AI. Everybody's trying to get to the next level. Everybody's trying to get to the next frontier. And every time they get to the next frontier, the last generation AI tokens, the cost starts to decline. About a factor of 10x every year.
After this, we'll take a break
The
and we'll
10x
chat
decline
about
every
it,
year
and
is
then we're
actually
gonna watch
telling you
the
something
We're
different.
gonna then watch
It's
the
saying
important
that the
stuff
race
for
is
us
so
in the gaming
intense.
area with
Everybody's
GeForce
trying to get
Now
to the
and
next
stuff.
level, and
This is the
somebody
big
is
one. So
getting
I'm
to the
going
next
over like
level.
the
And
weekend.
so
This is
therefore,
Monday. So
all of
we
it
still have
is a
lots to
computing
chat
problem.
about.
The faster you compute, the sooner you can get to the next level of the next frontier. All of these things are simultaneously happening at the same time. And so we decided that we have to advance the state of the art of computation every
I just love these
single
little
year.
robots. I want
Not
one
one
so
year
bad.
left behind. And
I want
now
the Ricci
we've been
though. The little
shipping
Ricci one I can't
GB200s
get. These ones I
a year and a half
cannot.
ago. Right now we're in full-scale manufacturing of GB300. And if Vera Rubin is going to be in time for this year, it must be in production by now. And so today I can tell you
This
that
was
Vera
so
Rubin
cool.
is in full production. You guys want to take a look at Vera Rubin? All right, come on. Play it, please.
Look how cute the robots are. This is so cool.
Vera Rubin arrives just in time for the next frontier of AI. This is the story of how we built it. The architecture, a system of 6 chips, engineered to work as one, born from extreme co-design. It begins with Vera, a custom-designed CPU, double the performance of the previous generation. And the Rubin GPU. Vera and Rubin are co-designed from the start to bidirectionally and coherently share data faster and with lower latency. Then, 17,000 components come together on a Vera Rubin compute board.
17,000.
High-speed robots place components with micron precision before the Vera CPU and 2 Rubin GPUs complete the assembly. Capable of delivering 100 petaflops of AI, 5 times that of its predecessor. AI needs data, fast. Connect X9 delivers 1.6 terabits per second of scale-out bandwidth to each GPU. Bluefield 4 DPU offloads storage and security, so compute stays fully focused on AI. The Vera Rubin compute tray, completely redesigned with no cables, hoses, or fans.
Like, there's no
Featuring a
cabling
Bluefield
in
4
this
DPU,
thing. Like, when I
8
looked at it, I was like,
Connect X9
where are all the
NICs,
cables
2
at?
Vera CPUs, and 4 Rubin GPUs. The compute building block of the
Like,
Vera
like
Rubin
all of
AI
that was
supercomputer.
like, it was crazy.
Next, the 6th generation NVLink switch. Moving more data than the global internet, connecting 18 compute nodes, scaling up to 72 Rubin GPUs, operating as one. Then, Spectrum X Ethernet Photonics. The world's first Ethernet switch with 512 lanes and 200 gigabit capable co-packaged optics scale out thousands of racks into an AI factory. 15,000 engineer years since design began, the first Vera Rubin MVL 72
I know, there's still
rack
some
comes
cables.
online. 6 breakthrough chips, 18 compute trays, 9 NVLink switch trays, 220 trillion transistors,
That's crazy.
weighing nearly 2 tons. One giant
All
leap
that's
to the next
copper
frontier
in the
of
back.
AI. Rubin is here.
What do you guys think?
Baby robots. Hype.
This is a Rubin pod, 1,152 GPUs in 16 racks. Each one of the racks, as you know, has 72 Rubins. Each one of the Rubins is 2 actual GPU dies connected together. I'm going to show it to you. But there are several things that, well, I'll tell you later. Well, we designed 6 different chips. First of all, we have
That's
a rule
so
inside
cool
our
that they had
company.
it all
It's a good
broken
rule.
up to show everybody.
No new generation should have more than 1 or 2 chips change. But the problem is this. As you could see, we were describing the total number of
talk to you
transistors
soon,
in
Ninja.
each one of the chips that were being described, and we know that Moore's law has largely slowed. And so the number of transistors we can get year after year after year can't possibly keep up with the 10 times larger models. It can't possibly keep up with 5 times per year more tokens generated. It can't possibly keep up
Bye,
with the
baby
fact that
robots.
cost decline of the tokens are going to be so aggressive. It is impossible to keep up with those kind of rates for the industry to continue to advance unless we deployed aggressive, extreme co-design, basically innovating across all of the chips, across the entire stack, all at the same time, which is the reason why we decided that this generation, we had no choice but to design every chip over again. Now, every single chip that
So they
we were
had, so
describing
if
just
you heard, like, and if you didn't hear, you usually only change like 1 or 2 things. They had to change everything, which is crazy.
can be a press conference in all in itself. And there's an entire company who's probably dedicated to doing that back in the old days. Each one of them are completely revolutionary and the best of its kind. The Vera CPU, I'm so proud of it. In a power-constrained world, Grace CPU is 2 times the performance. In a power-constrained world, it's twice the performance per watt of the world's most advanced CPUs. Its data rate is insane. It was designed
Can I get one of those from
to
my V2 model,
process
sir?
supercomputers. And Grace was an incredible CPU. Now, Vera increases the single-threaded performance, increases the capacity of the memory, increases everything just dramatically. It's a giant chip. This is the Vera CPU. This is one CPU. And this is connected to the Rubin GPU. Look at that thing. It's a giant chip. Now, the thing that's really special, and I'll go through these. It's going to take 3 hands, I think, 4 hands to do this. Okay, so this is the Vera CPU. It's got 88 CPU cores, and the CPU cores are designed to be multi-threaded. But the multi-threaded nature of Vera was designed so that each one of the 176 threads could get its full performance. So it's essentially as if there's 176 cores, but only 88 physical cores. So these cores were designed in using a technology called spatial multi-threading. But the I/O performance is incredible. This is the Rubin GPU. It's 5x Blackwell in floating performance. But the important thing is go to the bottom line. The bottom line, it's only 1.6 times the number of transistors of Blackwell. That kind of tells you something about the levels of semiconductor physics today. If we don't do extreme co-design at the level of basically every single chip across the entire system, how is it possible we deliver performance levels that is, at best, 1.6 times each year? Because that's the total number of transistors you have. And even if you were to have a little bit more performance per transistor, say 25%, it's impossible to get 100% yield out of the number of transistors you get. And so 1.6x kind of puts a ceiling on how far performance can go each year unless you do something extreme, and we call it extreme co-design. Well, one of the things that we did, and it was a great invention, is called NVFP4 Tensor Core. The transformer engine inside our chip is not just a 4-bit floating point number somehow that we put into the data path. It is an entire processor, a processing unit that understands how to dynamically, adaptively adjust its precision and structure to deal with different levels of the transformer so that you can achieve higher throughput wherever it's possible to lose precision and to go back to the highest possible precision wherever you need to. That ability to dynamically do that, you can't do this in software because obviously it's just running too fast. And so you have to be able to do it adaptively inside the processor. That's what an NVFP4 is. When somebody says FP4 or FP8, it almost means nothing to us. And the reason for that is because it's the tensor core structure and all of the algorithms that makes it work. NVFP4, we've published papers on this already. The precision, the level of throughput and precision it's able to retain is completely incredible. This is groundbreaking work. I would not be surprised if the industry would like us to make this format and this structure an industry standard in the future. This is completely revolutionary. This is how we were able to deliver
Next time we
such
watch
a
one of his
gigantic
keynotes,
step
we
up
need
in
to do
performance, even though we only have
world-renowned and
1.6
revolutionary
times
for
the
him and
number
just
of
tally
transistors.
these words.
And now, once you have a great processing node, and this is the processor node, and inside, so this is for example, here, let me do this.
Oh yeah, I forgot he did that. That was so, like, he's just like pulling out things like this is candy store.
Wow, it's super heavy. You have to be a CEO in really good shape to do this job.
He works out.
All right. So this thing is, I'm going to guess, this is probably, I don't know, a couple of 100 pounds. I thought that was funny too. Come on. It could have been.
Dad joke.
Everybody's going, no, I don't think so. All right. So look at this. This is the
like
last
gamer
one.
dad
We
vibes there,
revolutionized
right?
the entire MGX chassis. This node, 43 cables, 0 cables, 6 tubes, just 2 of them here. It takes 2 hours to assemble this.
This is cool.
If you're lucky,
2
it
hours.
takes 2 hours. And of course, you're probably going to assemble it wrong. You're going to have to retest it, test it, reassemble it. So the assembly process is incredibly complicated. And it was understandable as one of our first supercomputers that's deconstructed in this way. This, from 2 hours to 5 minutes.
IT department. Let's go. 2 hours to 5 minutes.
80% liquid cooled.
5 minutes.
100% liquid cooled. Yeah, really, really a breakthrough. Okay, so this is the new compute chassis. And what connects all of these to the top of rack switches, the east-west traffic, is called the Spectrum-X NIC. This is the world's best NIC, unquestionably NVIDIA's Mellanox, the acquisition Mellanox that joined us a long time ago now. Their networking technology for high-performance computing is the world's best, bar none. The algorithms, the chip design, all of the interconnects, all the software stacks that run on top of it, their RDMA, absolutely, bar none, the world's best. And now it has the ability to do programmable RDMA and data path accelerator so that our partners like AI Labs could create their own algorithms for how they want to move data around the system. But this is completely world-class, ConnectX.
World class.
ConnectX
World
9
class.
and the Vera CPU were co-designed.
We could do a
And we never
drinking
revealed
game,
it,
Jensen, every time you say world
released it until
class. Shot.
CX9 came along because we co-designed it for a new type of processor. You know, ConnectX 9, or CX8 and Spectrum-X revolutionized how Ethernet was done for artificial intelligence. Ethernet traffic for AI is much, much more intense, requires much lower latency. The instantaneous surge of traffic is unlike anything Ethernet sees. And so we created Spectrum-X, which is AI Ethernet. 2 years ago, we announced Spectrum-X. NVIDIA today is the largest networking company the world has ever seen. So it's been so successful and used in so many different installations. It is just sweeping the AI landscape. The performance is incredible, especially when you have a 200 megawatt data center, or if you have a gigawatt data center. These are billions of dollars. Let's say a gigawatt data center is $50 billion. If the networking performance allows you to deliver an extra 10%, in the case of Spectrum-X, delivering 25% higher throughput is not uncommon. If we were to just deliver 10%, that's worth $5 billion. The networking is completely free, which is the reason why, well, everybody uses Spectrum-X. It's just an incredible thing. And now we're going to invent a new type of data processing. And so Spectrum-X is for east-west traffic. We now have a new processor called BlueField-4. BlueField-4 allows us to take a very large data center, isolate different parts of it so that different users could use different parts of it, make sure that everything could be virtualized if they decide to be virtualized. So you offload a lot of the virtualization software, the security software, the networking software for your north-south traffic. And so BlueField-4 comes standard with every single one of these compute nodes. BlueField-4 has a second application I'm going to talk about in just a second. This is a revolutionary processor, and I'm so excited about it. This is the NVLink 6 switch, and it's right here. This switch chip, there are 4 of them inside the NVLink switch here. Each one of these switch chips has the fastest SerDes in history. The world is barely getting to 200 gigabits. This is 400 gigabits per second switch. The reason why this is so important is so that we could have every single GPU talk to every other GPU at exactly the same time. This switch on the backplane of one of these racks enables us to move the equivalent
Vegas
of
was
twice
good.
the amount of the
We're going
global
over
internet
all
data.
of the Vegas stuff right now.
All
So
of
we're
the
watching
world's
the
internet
keynote
data
that I was
at
able
twice
to
the speed.
attend in person.
You take the cross-sectional bandwidth of the entire planet's internet. It's about 100 terabytes per second. This is 240 terabytes per second. So it kind of puts it in perspective. This is so that every single GPU can work with every single other GPU at exactly the same time. Okay? Then on top of that, okay, so this is one rack. This is one rack. Each one of the racks, as you could see, the number of transistors in this one rack
220 trillion.
is 1.7 times. Yeah, could you do this for me? So this is, it's usually about 2 tons.
2
But
tons.
today it's 2.5 tons because when they shipped it, they forgot to drain the water out of it. So we shipped a lot of water from California. Can you hear it squealing? You know, when you're rotating 2.5 tons, you're gonna squeal a little. So behind this
It's so pretty.
are the NVLink spines. Basically 2 miles of copper cables. Copper is the best conductor we know. And these are all shielded copper cables, structured copper cables, the most the world's ever used in computing systems ever. And
2 miles.
Our SerDes drive the copper cables from the top of the rack all the way to the bottom of the rack at 400 gigabits per second.
Wow.
It's incredible. And so this has 2 miles of total copper cables, 5,000 copper cables, and this makes the NVLink
5
spine
miles.
possible. This is the revolution that really started the NGX system. Now we decided that we would create an industry standard system so that the entire ecosystem, all of our supply chain, could standardize on these components. There are some 80,000 different components that make up these NGX systems, and it's a total waste if we were to change it every single year. Every single major computer company, from Foxconn to Quanta to Wistron, you know, the list goes on and on and on, to HP and Dell and Lenovo, everybody knows how to build these systems. And so the fact that we could squeeze Vera Rubin into this, even though the performance is so much higher, and very importantly, the power is twice as high. The power of Vera Rubin
So basically,
is
they
twice as
squeeze
high
all
as
this
Grace
tech
Blackwell.
into the same like
And yet,
shelling of what is
and this is the
needed for these
miracle,
companies.
the air that goes into it, the air flow is about the same. And very importantly, the water that goes into it is the same temperature, 45 degrees C. With 45 degrees C, no water chillers are necessary for data centers. We're basically cooling this supercomputer
No water
with hot water.
chillers.
It is so incredibly efficient. And so this is the new rack. 1.7 times more transistors, but 5 times more peak inference performance, 3.5
I'd be scared that
times
thing would be
more
boiling
peak,
over, you know? It'd be so
training
hot.
performance. They're connected on top using Spectrum X. Oh, thank you. This is the world's first manufacturing chip using TSMC's new process that we co-innovated
With all the
called
little
COUP.
baby chips in
It's
there.
a silicon photonics, integrated silicon photonics process technology.
It's
And
so
this
big.
allows us to take silicon photonics directly right to the chip. And this is 512 ports at 200 gigabits per second. And this is the new Ethernet AI switch, the Spectrum X Ethernet switch. And look at this giant chip. But what's really amazing is it's got silicon photonics directly connected to it. And lasers come in. Lasers come in through here. Lasers come in through here. The optics are here, and they connect out to the rest of the data set.
Like when he puts his arms out like
this
Superman.
I'll show you in a second,
Ow.
but this is on top of the rack. And this is the new Spectrum X silicon photonics switch, okay? And we have something new I want to tell you about. So just as I mentioned, a couple of years ago, we introduced Spectrum X so that we could reinvent the way that networking is done. Ethernet is really easy to manage, and everybody has an Ethernet stack, and every data center in the world knows how to deal with Ethernet. And the only thing that we were using at the time was called InfiniBand, which is used for supercomputers. InfiniBand is very low latency, but of course the software stack, the entire manageability of InfiniBand is very alien to the people who use Ethernet. So we decided to enter the Ethernet switch market for the very first time. Spectrum X, that just took off, and it made us the largest networking company in the world, as I mentioned. This next generation Spectrum X is going to carry on that tradition. But just as I said earlier, AI has reinvented the whole computing stack. Every layer of the computing stack. It stands to reason that when AI starts to get deployed in the world's enterprises, it's going to also reinvent the way storage is done. Well, AI doesn't use SQL, AI uses semantics information. And when AI is being used, it creates this temporary knowledge, temporary memory called KV cache. key value combinations, but it's a KV cache, basically the cache of the AI, the working memory of the AI. And the working memory of the AI is stored in the HBM memory. Every single token, for every single token, the GPU reads in the model, the entire model. It reads in the entire working memory, and it produces one token. And it stores that one token back into the KV cache. And then the next time it does that, it reads in the entire memory, reads it, and it streams it through our GPU, and then generates another token. Well, it does this repeatedly, token after token after token, and obviously, if you have a long conversation with that AI, over time, that memory, that context memory is gonna grow tremendously. Not to mention the models are growing, the number of turns that we're using, the AIs are increasing. We would like to have this AI stay with us our entire life and remember every single conversation we've ever had with it, right? Every single lick of research that I've asked it for. Of course, with the number of people that will be sharing the supercomputer is gonna continue to grow. And so this context memory, which started
Dude, I
out
don't even
fitting
want to
inside an
know how
HBM,
much this thing is
is
he's
no longer
talking
large
about,
enough.
dude.
Last
I'd
year,
be so
we
scared.
created Grace Blackwell's
But imagine, like,
very
they have to have,
fast
like, a
memory
sales
called
team that's over on the
fast
floor,
context memory.
right? Like, again, I didn't get to go to
That's the
CES,
reason why we connected Grace
but I'm
directly
just so
to
curious
Hopper.
about, like, the
That's why we
marketing
connected
side
Grace
and the
directly
sales team
to Blackwell,
side.
so
Because
that we
that's
can
what I'm
expand the
strongest
context
in is
memory.
marketing
but
and
even
sales.
that is not enough. And so the next solution, of course, is to go
But
off onto the network.
those conversations, I love to be a fly on the wall. Of like, how do
off to
they
the
talk
storage of the
about
company.
this?
But if you have a whole lot of AIs running at the same time, that network is no longer going to be fast enough. So the answer is very clearly to do it different. And so we created Bluefield 4 so that we could essentially have a very fast KV cache context memory store right in the rack. And so I'll show you in just one second, but there's a whole new category of storage systems. And the industry is so excited because this is a pain
Rebel,
point for
hi,
just
Rebel.
about everybody who does
Rebel,
a lot of
Sunday,
token
PTB
generation
day.
today. The
Drew,
AI labs, the cloud
anybody,
service providers,
PTB, get it
they're
downloaded for
really
Sunday.
suffering from
I'm not
the
touching
amount of
DVD
network
until
traffic
then.
that's being caused by KV cache moving around. And so the idea that we would create a new platform, a new processor to run the entire Dynamo
Today's NVIDIA day.
KV cache context memory management system and to put it very close to the rest of the rack is completely revolutionary. So this is it.
Revolutionary.
It sits right here.
World-class shot.
So this is all the compute nodes. Each one of these is NVLink 72. So this is Vera Rubin, NVLink 72. 144
And I got to walk
Rubin
by
GPUs.
all the, I didn't get to like
This
spend
is
too
the
much in this
context memory that's
area, but I
stored
got to
here.
walk by
Behind
all
each one
this
of these
stuff
are
over
4
at their
Bluefields.
display area.
Behind each
Very
Bluefield
cool.
is 150 terabytes
very
of
cool.
memory, context memory. And for each GPU, once you allocate it across, each GPU will get an additional 16 terabytes. Now, inside this node, each GPU essentially has 1 terabyte.
And these are scaled, like
And
the
now,
display that they
with
have is
this
scaled to
backing store
actual
here,
size. Like these
directly
things are
on
huge.
the same east-west traffic at exactly the same data rate, 200 gigabits per second, across literally the entire fabric of this compute node, you're gonna get an additional 16 terabytes of memory, okay? And this is the management plane. These are the Spectrum X switches that connects all of them together. And over here, these switches at the end connects them to the rest of the data center, okay? And so this is the Vera Rubin. Now there's several things that's really incredible about it. So the first thing that I mentioned is that this entire system is twice.
So 6 brand new
the
chips, where they were
energy
talking about
efficiency,
usually they just
essentially
do 1 or 2.
The temperature performance in the sense that even though the power is twice as high, the amount of energy used is twice as high, the amount of computation is many times higher than that, but the liquid that goes into it is still 45 degrees C. That enables us to save about 6% of the world's data center power. So that's a very big deal. The second very big deal is that this entire system is now confidential computing safe, meaning everything is encoded in transit, at rest, and during compute. And every single bus is now encrypted. every PCI Express, every NVLink, every NVLink between CPU and GPU, between GPU to GPU, everything is now encrypted. And so it's confidential computing safe. This allows companies to feel safe that their models are being deployed by somebody else, but it will never be seen by anybody else, okay? And so this particular system is not only incredibly energy efficient, and there's one other thing that's incredible. Because of the nature of the workload of AI, it spikes instantaneously with this computation layer called all-reduce. The amount of current, the amount of energy that is used simultaneously is really off the charts. Oftentimes, it'll spike up 25%. We now have power smoothing across the entire system so that you don't have to over-provision by 25 times, or if you over-provision by 25 times, you don't have to leave 25% of the energy squandered or unused. And so now you could fill up the entire power budget and you don't have to provision beyond that. And then the last thing, of course, is performance. So let's take a look at the performance of this. These are only charts that
The
people
last
who
thing's
build
performance,
AI
not a
supercomputers
big
would love.
deal, but
It took
we'll talk
every
about
single
it.
one of these chips, complete redesign of every single one of the systems and rewriting the entire stack for us to make this possible. Basically, this is training the AI model, this first column. The faster you train AI models, the faster you can get the next frontier out to the world.
So
This is your
Blackwell is
time
the
to
green
market. This
one,
is
and then the
technology
tan
leadership.
yellow
This is your
color is going to
pricing
be the new
power.
one that they're announcing
And so
right now
in the case
with
of the
Rubin.
green, this is essentially a 10 trillion parameter model. We scaled it up from DeepSeek. DeepSeek, that's why we call it DeepSeek plus. Training a 10 trillion parameter model on 100 trillion tokens, okay? And this is our simulation projection of what it would take for us to build the next frontier model. The next frontier model, Elon's already mentioned that the next version of Grok 5, I think is 7 trillion parameters, so this is 10. And in the green is Blackwell. And here, in the case of Rubin, notice the throughput is so much higher, and therefore it only takes 1/4 as many of these systems in order to train the model in the time that we gave it here, which is 1 month, okay? And so time is the same for everybody. Now, how fast you can train that model and how large of a model you can train is how you're gonna get to the frontier first. The second part is your factory throughput. Blackwell is green again, and factory throughput is important because your factory is, in the case of a gigawatt, is $50 billion. A $50 billion data center can only consume 1 gigawatt of power. And so if your performance, your throughput per watt is very good versus quite poor, that directly translates to your revenues. Your revenues of your data center is directly related to the second column. And in the case of Blackwell, it was about 10 times over Hopper. In the case of Rubin, it's going to be about 10 times higher again, okay? And in the case of now the cost of the tokens, how cost effectively it is to generate the token, this is Rubin, about 1/10.
Wow.
Just as in the case of, yep. So this is how we're gonna get everybody to the next frontier to push
he's
AI
saying
to the
that,
next
and it
level.
makes me think of,
And of course,
Wall-E.
to build these data centers energy efficiently and cost efficiently. So this is it. This is NVIDIA today. You know, we mentioned that we build chips, but as you know, NVIDIA builds entire systems now. And AI is a full stack. We're reinventing AI across everything from chips to infrastructure to models to applications. And our job is to create the entire stack so that all of you could create incredible applications for the rest of the world. Thank you all for coming. Have a great CES.
The advertisement was always like the next frontier. This is cute.
Before I let you guys go,
This is cute.
There were a whole bunch of slides we had to leave on the cutting floor, and so we have some outtakes here. I think it'll be fun for you. Have a great CES, guys.
This is very, very cute.
And cut.
NVIDIA Live at CES Take 4 Marker.
Boom mic. Action!
Sorry, guys.
Platform shift, huh? That should do it.
And let's roll camera.
Ah, shade of green. A bright, happy green.
World's most powerful AI supercomputer you can plug into the wall, next to my toaster.
Hey guys, I'm stuck again. I'm so sorry.
This slide is never gonna work. Let's just cut it.
Hello? Can you hear me? So like I was saying, the router, because not every problem needs the biggest, smartest model, just the right one.
No, no! Don't lose any of them!
This new 6-chip Rubin platform makes one amazing AI supercomputer.
There you go, little guy. Oh, no, not the scaling laws.
There is a squirrel on the car. Be ready to make the squirrel go away. Ask the squirrel gently to move away.
Did you know the best models today are all mixture of experts?
Hey!
Richie.
Where'd everybody go?
It's so cute. But yeah, the presentation and everything was really, really cool. Very, very enjoyable to be a part of. Seeing it in person was definitely an experience. Again, like, because you're sitting among like a bunch of people that's really like AI heavy that was over at the presentation. A little bit of gaming, but when talking with Kendra and the team, you know, when it comes down to it, is that this is a full-on company, and so everything else trickles down. And so we're gonna start getting into the gaming side, but the biggest thing was that being a part of the live like kind of keynote with Jensen, and to see where things are going, it made you kind of go, okay, well, if that's where everything else is going, where's gaming going? And so seeing that they're coming up with these supercomputers to help with all these innovative things, it's also going to trickle into gaming. So there's no like GPU that was announced this year with CES, but again, like it's only showing that they're working on that technology to move forward that's going to trickle down into the gaming department. Dexter, how you doing? Welcome in. So let's see. Okay, so with that said, you guys, like we got involved with NVIDIA, specifically with GeForce Now, which has been amazing and phenomenal. We're still troubleshooting my VTubing stuff, so we found a way to get through it. I don't want to necessarily talk too much into it until I figure out the solution, because this would be an additional extra step for those that VTube the way that I do. But if you're running Steam and you're running these games, this works for you right now. With me, with live streaming, with VTubing, we have a problem of with the Steam account, I run all my VTubing software on there. So we're trying to figure out how to get that resolved. So we thought of a solution, and we're going to work through those steps. So that's the biggest thing that we're doing. But with that said, they did an announcement recently that came into discussion with everyone, where for the beginning with GeForce Now, you got unlimited. So when we started talking about this back during Surviving for Santa, it was a limited time. You could run it and no problems. But now they have capped it at 100 hours per month. And so there's been discussions about how does that look? What does it look like in the long run with this type of program? So they have like their day passes that you can purchase. They have their month passes, and then obviously their year long is the best one. So the discussion that we had was, you know, just sitting casually and talking, was the 100-hour benchmark. And we've seen people on like the Reddit feeds that were like, we're maxing out on this. And like my mom heart is coming into play a little bit because I'm a full-time content creator, so this isn't like I'm not the normal game like user that we want to think about, right? We're thinking about in an average healthy household of how much gaming content should we all be digesting, and a lot of us might spend a little bit more on the weekends, weekdays and such, but then we also have accountability for brands of, hey, like what are we doing to make sure that we're taking care of our health and our mental wellness and such. And so with everything coming up and with how these programs are going, they're capping it at 100 hours per month. Now, you don't always necessarily do 100 hours, so they'll roll over 15 hours every month that you don't use, right? Up to 15 hours. So with that said, that was a conversation, and some people might need more on gaming. So we've heard of like people being a little creative of like purchasing two, ultimate passes where they do save a little bit, but you can also pay, I think it's like $4 for an additional 15 hours for it. But the reality is, if you're playing 100 hours in gaming, go get a walk, go do things, gotta run, no problem. We'll see you later, Remnant. Thanks for hanging out. So that was kind of one of the first conversations that came to the table, and I kind of agree with the mentality of like, take care of your health, enjoy gaming for what it is, but it shouldn't be capitalizing the majority of your time. If it is your job, then there's workarounds with that. But with GeForce Now, they give you access on using like their top of the line graphics with it for their technology side. You get the, like, what is it, like 8 hours of gaming per sessions, 4K resolution, 240 frames per second, and all this stuff. And you're using their RTX 5080 for select games. So it depends on the game, depends on all those other things, and you can see all that on there. But the one thing that I wanted to watch with you guys, and this is the stuff that impacts us specifically. So if you guys are like, what is going on with NVIDIA in the gaming? Like, we saw all this stuff with AI. How does this impact gaming for us specifically? Well, they have a video for us here that goes over all that. So we're going to go ahead and watch that. It's going to be focused on the GeForce Now and the community with that. So we're going to open up that and we're going to watch it. Oops.
Hello, and welcome to GeForce On. I'm here in the GeForce Tech Marketing Lab checking out what 2026 has to offer in PC gaming. And although we're not announcing any new GPUs today, we have a lot to show you, including new games like Resident Evil Requiem, 007 First Light, big updates to DLSS and G-Sync tech, and great new hardware from our partners. Let's begin by hearing from one of the creators of Phantom Blade Zero, the upcoming wuxia action RPG from S-Game, and what GeForce Tech you can expect to see in it.
Phantom Blade Zero is based on Ramblood, an indie game I made all by myself in like 15 years ago. In 2021, we decided to make a major shift to big console and PC titles. That is the beginning of Phantom Blade Zero. We created a style, we called it Kung Fu Punk, in which we mix in our own Chinese culture and Chinese wuxia cultures with those cool elements from modern entertainment industry, such as steampunk, folklore, and also cosmic horror and such. I would say it's neither Souls-like nor hack and slash. We would love to create something in between, something with both the explorations and also fast-paced combat. The very good thing for PC gamers is they have different ways to experience the game. I think RTX and DLSS 4 are the main features that enhance our game a lot. The rain is one of our core environmental features. So having a convincing presentation of anything in the rain is important, and we count on ray tracing system for this. It's difficult to maintain the frame rate while you have a top-notch graphic. So DLSS 4 and other NVIDIA technologies support us to get a stable frame rate while getting the best graphic.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I'm coming to you from the heart of Endeavor, NVIDIA's headquarters. These days, NVIDIA is known for our AI servers like the one here, But not everyone understands how important AI is for gamers. DLSS 4 was trained on an AI supercomputer made out of servers just like this one, and it's become our fastest adopted gaming technology. DLSS unlocks real-time path tracing, with more exciting games arriving this year.
Oh man!
Since announcing DLSS 4 at CES last year, the team has been hard at work making DLSS better, training the models on bigger and more challenging data sets. Now, we're introducing DLSS 4.5.
Okay, so 4.5.
We have dramatically improved super resolution with a new second-gen transformer model, and we've expanded the capabilities of multi-frame generation. DLSS 4 introduced a new transformer architecture that enabled a big leap in image quality over our previous convolutional neural network.
You can see all like the stitching
now,
on that.
We're releasing our second-generation transformer for super resolution. It's 5 times more compute and is trained on an expanded data set, so the model has greater context awareness of every scene and more intelligent use of pixel sampling and motion vectors. These improvements make super resolution performance and ultra performance modes so much better. It has superior anti-aliasing for smoother edges, clearer gameplay, even with fast-moving objects, and improved temporal stability from frame to frame. With DLSS 4.5, we've also made multi-frame generation better in every way. The second-generation transformer delivers superior image quality as input to the frame generation model. The frame generation model has been continuously fine-tuned for improved quality and stability. And we've improved frame pacing to ensure the high frame rates feel as good as they look. With these improvements, we can now generate up to 5 additional frames per rendered frame with minimal change to latency. That's a new 6x total multiplier, unlocking 240Hz 4K gaming with real-time path tracing.
Wow.
Along with this 6x capability, DLSS 4.5 also introduces dynamic multi-frame generation. This mode dynamically increases the number of generated frames in demanding scenes, maximizing the monitor's refresh rate for the smoothest possible experience. In less demanding scenes, it automatically decreases the number of generated frames, so it only computes what's needed. DLSS 4 was already the best way to play. Now, just a year later, DLSS 4.5 runs faster, looks better, and is easier to use. We're excited to launch the second-generation Super Resolution Transformer for all GeForce RTX users. Dynamic multi-frame generation will be available in spring for GeForce RTX 50 series users.
So that's coming out in
all
spring
of the
for
features
the 4.5.
announced for DLSS 4.5 will be available through override settings in the NVIDIA app. With the launch of DLSS 4.5, NVIDIA continues to push the boundaries of accelerated computing in both AI and graphics. They are now one and the same, and we can't wait to see where we go next.
Hi, I'm Keita. For 24 years, my team and I have had the privilege of partnering with the world's best developers to bring cutting-edge, high-quality
Now,
games
is this a new
to
game
GeForce
that's
gamers.
coming out with
One
007?
game I'm very excited
Because
about
I love
is
James
007
Bond.
First Light. Let's check in with
This
my
would
friends
be
at
fun
IO
to
Interactive
play.
to get an inside look at how they created an original Bond story for PC with DLSS 4.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Oh, he has accent
007
too.
First Light is an action-packed, story-driven adventure spy thriller where you play as a young James Bond as he ventures on his first journey and his first steps into the larger world of spycraft. Bond hasn't been in games for around 13 years or so. Because we're doing a younger Bond, it's a wonderful opportunity for us to really explore how the relationships he has in his younger years, how they affect him as a character.
The primary tech that we are developing together with NVIDIA is all the DLSS features, especially of DLSS 4. Everything from multi-frame generation to super resolution is incredibly useful and something that we have integrated very, very closely into the game.
Having software and hardware working together and getting the best out of it while using these techniques really helps us to push the limits. So we are very proud of what we did together, and it's been a great experience working with NVIDIA.
I would hope that we find a new, fresh audience for Bond and that they get to connect to this character. And I would hope for them that they get to fall in love with him a little bit like we have during this development.
We are very proud at being the team that can actually bring 007 back into gaming. This is something that we want to nourish and see what we can do to encourage players to actually just enjoy this experience that we're crafting for them.
All right, we headed to the G-Sync Optical Lab. As you already know, in 2013, G-Sync revolutionized gaming monitors for GeForce gamers. We introduced variable refresh rate technology,
Now
which put an
I
end
did get to play with
ugly
the
screen
G-Sync
tearing.
monitors. That was pretty
And now
cool.
we're launching the next big evolution in VRR tech with G-Sync Pulsar monitors. Garrett, the lead architect of G-Sync technology, is going to explain how it was done. Come on.
Welcome to our G-Sync Optical Lab, where we're constantly exploring how to improve display technologies for gaming. An LCD or OLED display is always showing an image during scan-out, so pixels actually show at the wrong location for almost an entire frame time, which is perceived as blur for moving objects. This blur can be removed by strobing or pulsing the display's backlight. However, if you try doing this by varying the pulse proportional to a variable refresh rate, it causes flicker in the human eye. We tried for over 10 years to develop pulse sequencers that would not flicker. At one point we even proved that the solution wasn't possible. We almost gave up there. Until a colleague suggested adding a compensation pulse, shifting the flicker to a higher frequency where it's not visible. This breakthrough enables G-Sync Pulsar to improve motion clarity together with VRR without any flickering. Pulsar-enabled displays have multiple horizontal backlight sections that are independently pulsed from top to bottom. With this rolling scan scheme, pixels are given almost a full frame time to achieve the right values before being backlit, showing objects at the correct location. We pulse at 25% of a frame time. This means any object hold time is 4 times smaller for 4 times the effective motion clarity. In other words, at 250 FPS with Pulsar, you get the motion clarity of a theoretical 1000 Hz monitor as if you're rendering at 1000 FPS.
And this
In
is
competitive gaming,
Tekken-specific
enhanced
monitors.
motion clarity can give you the competitive edge with more precise tracking and response to fast-moving elements. For immersive games, increased clarity enhances immersion, and you no longer need to switch between ULMB and VRR as in the past. I also want to tell you about something else that we are announcing today called G-Sync Ambient Adaptive Technology. A built-in sensor detects the ambient light in your gaming space. When the light in your room changes, so does your display's brightness and
That's
color
cool.
temperature. You're likely familiar with such features on your mobile phone or tablet. In daylight, the display will show 100% brightness and cool white colors. As the space darkens, the display can automatically scale luminance down
And
with
that's
warmer
like
light
using
colors.
that AI, like,
With
you know,
this
again,
optional
it's
feature,
trickling
you
down
can just
into the
set it
gaming
and
sector
forget it
for the
the best
consumer.
lighting day and night. You can get new G-Sync monitors with Pulsar and ambient adaptive technologies at select retailers. And going forward, we'll be bringing you more G-Sync monitors and technologies faster than ever before, because G-Sync is now being integrated into display scalers from MediaTek, streamlining production and making great gaming displays more accessible.
Right now is one of my favorite times of the year, CES, where our partners announce a bunch of new exciting hardware. And here are just a few of the many that I'd like to tell you about. First up, Asus and Gigabyte are introducing graphics cards featuring the double flow-through design that debuted on the RTX 5090 Founders Edition. The Asus ProArt GeForce RTX 5090 packs flagship performance into an SFF-ready footprint, which means it's 2.5 slots wide and fits into a variety of small form factor cases, thanks to the more efficient cooling from the double flow-through design. And MSI is bringing back the Lightning series with the GeForce RTX 5090 Lightning Z, which brings high-end overclocking features, an 8-inch LCD screen, and a hybrid liquid-cooled design. We also have a wide selection of new GeForce RTX 50 series laptops. This Asus TUF Gaming A14 comes equipped with a GeForce RTX 5060 laptop GPU and a 1600p 165Hz panel. It's lightweight at around 3 pounds. Then there's the HyperX Omen 15, which features up to a GeForce RTX 5070 laptop GPU and a stunning OLED 1600p 180Hz display. And for monitors, we have new G-Sync displays supporting Pulsar and ambient adaptive technology, like the ROG Strix Pulsar model from Asus. They're all 27-inch IPS displays, supporting 360 Hz refresh rate.
That's great.
Finally, we have new products from our system builders, like this one from Origin PC. This is the new Neuron 4500X, featuring a customizable frame system. It includes a single piece of glass that wraps around the whole case with this awesome waterfall vent system. It will be released later this month.
Waterfall
Which
vent.
hardware are you most
Ooh,
interested in?
awe.
Let us know in the comments.
Our next game is from our longtime partners at Gaijin and Matter team called Active Matter, an all-new first-person extraction shooter set in a fractured multiverse, launching in 2026 with ray tracing and DLSS 4. Let's take a look at a new exclusive trailer.
Ooh. These games don't play, man. Is that a car with a spirit in it? I don't feel like this is supposed to be a scary game, but it feels like a scary game.
Oh, hello again. For over 20 years, GeForce has been the way Battlefield is meant to be played. With the launch of Battlefield 6, which supports DLSS 4, we thought it'd be fun to ask the community for your best Battlefield 6 clips. And here are some of our favorites.
We did talk about Battlefield in like when we were having lunch, and I was like, I know nothing about this game.
It's like the aggressive sniping that I enjoy, though, like getting closer to people.
I think I met him over there, Mom.
I'm never gonna hit that with my fucking
Bruh.
I think he
And
was
not
with
letting this
us.
opportunity go to waste, here's my favorite clip from RTX Play Live, our weekly show on NVIDIA's Twitch channel. Quad kills. 5 kill. Wow, that was amazing. Thanks again to everyone who shared clips, and looking forward to seeing you on the battlefield. We've also been seeing a lot of you at our community events around the world. We've celebrated 25 years of GeForce in Korea with hundreds of gamers, custom PCs, and Jensen himself.
I'm very happy to be back.
And recently, we met up with gamers at one of the biggest LAN parties in North America,
Like, how
PDX
cool.
LAN, which GeForce has been attending since 2003. For this one, we brought along a fun experiment asking attendees which 60 frames per second video of Cyberpunk 2077 looked better. And the results? 85% of gamers preferred option B, which was DLSS on. In addition, DLSS on was 5 times the frame rate with multi-frame gen. There was another cool activity we had at PDX LAN, and that was the GeForce Garage Case Mod Contest. And here to tell you all about it is Dwight.
What's up, everybody? We've been hosting the Case Mod Contest at PDX LAN since 2018, and we've seen some amazing custom gaming rigs
everyone's,
throughout the years,
customizing their
many of which we've
cases and
featured
stuff.
on
How
our
cool.
channels. The fall event was no different, with
I
nearly a
need
dozen
someone to make me a
entries. The
Steve
final
Harrington
table was
case.
nothing short of inspiring. But in the end, Larry took home the win, so be on the lookout for our upcoming rig spotlight of his Zen PC.
That's pretty cool.
I feel like every year I say, this is the year I'm finally going to clear my backlog, and then 10 new RTX games launch. And I'm sure you're the same, so this year we're doing it together. Which RTX games are on your Steam wishlist? Share your top 5 games wishlist and we might buy them for you. You want in? Check out r/NVIDIA and our GeForce social channels on how to enter. The upcoming 007 First Light from IO Interactive looks incredible, and we're excited to showcase this wrapped RTX 5090. If you want a chance to get it, just head on over to our GeForce social channels for information on how to win.
Hey everyone. RTX Remix is a platform we created to help modders remaster classic games with path tracing and modern graphics.
So I thought this was interesting.
Last
this was
year,
like helping
the
like
Remix
these
community
older
released over
developers
50
get these
RTX
done.
mods.
Like Left 4 Dead
One of my
2.
favorites is Unreal RTX. The game that launched Unreal Engine 1 in 1998 has been remade with RTX graphics, and it looks awesome. And then there's Left 4 Dead 2 RTX. With Remix, it looks like a game that could have released
we gotta
this
do
year.
this one.
Today, we're announcing a new feature called Remix Logic, an easy way for modders to change up the graphics based on game events without needing hours of programming or source code. It makes RTX mods feel more dynamic. Let me show you. When I open this door, I can see a familiar landscape from Half-Life 2 RTX. But this door uses Remix Logic, and each time I open it, it changes the world around me. Here's a sci-fi device.
Cool.
When I pick it up, Remix Logic makes the buildings start to breathe in a dreamlike way. This control over cause and effect can even create new gameplay possibilities. Take this crossbow, for example. With Remix Logic, when the camera zooms, it creates a night vision effect, allowing me to see the zombie that was hiding in the dark.
Wow.
We can even create a system that warns the player about incoming danger. For example, when an enemy's nearby, I see this dramatic pulsing effect.
I need that.
Or
I need that.
I can create complex and cinematic sequences. When I activate this machine, Logic makes it emit particles. Those particles become chaotic as the machine overloads. And when it blasts a beam into the sky, Remix alters the visuals to create a nuclear skyline. It even triggers the zombies to disintegrate. Modders will be able to connect a wide variety of game events to change over 900 graphical settings. Logic is going to add another level of flair to Remix mods, and it arrives later this month.
Last year, we shared the addition of GeForce RTX 5080 servers to our GeForce Now Ultimate membership, and the ability to install your own games with new cloud storage options. The rollout is now complete, and we couldn't be more excited to report that our community has streamed over 5 million RTX 5080 sessions since we launched last September. And this year, GeForce Now is bringing you more platforms, more ways to play, and of course, more games. The community has asked, and we're answering the call. Today, we're excited to announce the addition of a GeForce Now native app for Linux. Let's check it out.
I did demo this. This was really cool. I couldn't tell the difference. No big deal at all.
And Linux isn't the only new platform addition. We will also be adding support for Fire TV starting later this month. And we're excited to announce support for flight controls and HOTAS. Expect better precision, more immersion, and an incredibly low latency experience in your favorite sim games. We also continue to make it easier to get right into your games with single sign-on support for your favorite store platforms. Because really, it's all about the games. Whether you're hunting monsters or hunting your 00 status, GeForce Now will give you the power to play across any device and turn it into an RTX 5080 rig of your dreams.
Hey everyone, NVIDIA Ace is our suite of technologies that bring game characters to life. Game devs are always exploring new player experiences, and we work closely with them to expand what's possible. From immersive NPCs that react more naturally to dialogue, to reimagining traditional enemy and squad-made AI systems, to interactive assistants that help new players get up to speed. Let's throw it over to our friends at Creative Assembly for a behind-the-scenes look at how they're making their games more approachable.
In Total War, players command armies, manage economies, and navigate diplomacy. Creative Assembly's R&D team is exploring how we can enhance the familiar advisor with NVIDIA Ace to better guide players on their journey to becoming a powerful ruler in the Bronze Age. NVIDIA Ace connects on-device AI to live game state and a vast knowledge database, allowing the advisor to retrieve key information and deliver contextual advice. Let's see it in action. This experimental AI feature aims to make Total War more approachable for players of all skill levels. In Total War, a victory on one front can be followed instantly by trouble on another. Moments like this are why new players often feel overwhelmed, and the advisor can help diagnose what sparked the uprising.
Nice, 'cause I mean,
Let's ask.
like, you can have
Why has a
assistance
rebellion
if you
broken
need
out?
it. It's not for everybody, but if you need it.
The advisor can also break down options, helping you understand what actions you can take to stabilize the situation. And before heading out to put down the revolt, the advisor can help you assess your strengths, almost like consulting your war council before committing to battle. Our first step in this journey will be launching an experimental phase with select members of the Total War community in the coming months.
We've teamed up with Capcom to bring RTX tech to Pragmata, their newest sci-fi adventure game.
Yeah, it's very cool, Dexter.
Today, I'm happy to announce that patch racing is officially coming to Pragmata in addition to DLSS 4. Let's go behind the scenes with the development team in Osaka to hear more.
プラグマタは2人の主人公を同時に操作してゲームを進める新感覚の SF アクションアドベンチャーです。舞台は近未来の月面です。人類が月の鉱石をもとに製造したルナフィラメントと呼ばれる新素材を使うことで、あらゆるものが 3D プリントできるようになった月面世界で地球への帰還を目指す物語が描かれます。異変の起こった月面施設に調査に訪れた探査員のヒュー・ウィリアムス。しかし彼はチームメンバーと共に巨大な月震に巻き込まれて遭難してしまいます。そんなヒューを助けたのがルナフィラメントで作られた特製のアンドロイドディアナでした。ディアナのハッキングとヒューのシューティング、異なるゲーム性の融合がユニークなゲームプレイ体験をユーザーに提供します。一見すると大柄な男が小さな少女を守るだけの関係に見えるかもしれませんが、2人は共にお互いを助け合うバディです。ヒューがピンチになった時にはもちろん、ディアナがハッキングで助け協力して月面施設の探索を進めていきます。
プラグマタではパストレーシングが実装されます。光が環境の中で実際にどのように反射し、拡散し、回り込むのかを再現することで、より生命感のあるビジュアルを生み出します。これにより反射、影、間接光がより自然となり、まるでハイエンドの SF 映画のような表現がゲームの中で実現されます。パストレーシングはゲーム表現を根本から変える技術であり、レンダリング手法における大きな転換点となります。今回初めて紹介させていただいたパストレーシングの対応に加えて DLSS マルチフレームジェネレーションへの対応も予定しています。NVIDIA DLSS によりフレームレートを向上させ、遅延を低減し、全体的な画質を高めることで幅広い PC 環境で素晴らしいゲーム体験を提供できるようになりました。
PC ゲーマーの皆さんに実際にゲームをプレイしていただき、ユニークなゲームプレイと様々なメカニズムがシームレスに連携する要素を体験していただけることを本当に楽しみにしています。PC ゲーマーの皆さんには現在 Steam にて配信中のデモを実際にプレイしてみてほしいと考えています。
For nearly 30 years, Resident Evil has been thrilling gamers and pushing the boundaries of innovation and technology. We've been working closely with Capcom on Resident Evil Requiem to build on that legacy in transformative ways. Let's check out the latest RTX video showcasing patch racing and DLSS 4.
Yep, no big deal. Leon. Oh man, I'm gonna die playing this game a lot. Oh no! I like the new main character we're gonna be playing.
I cannot wait to play Resident Evil Requiem. 2026 is going to be a great year for PC gaming. If you want to explore further details, be sure to check out GeForce.com and subscribe to our channel to get all of the newest tech announcements and trailers. And that's a wrap for GeForce On. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, so a lot going on there. So they announced a couple games. And they have announcements whenever they have like games that they're updating or things that are adding over to GeForce Now, and we're gonna start posting more of that content for you guys. But Resident Evil's on that list, so I gotta get through those games really really quick so I can make it. So we'll see, but I'm really excited about that one. But yeah, I mean, I have like clips and stuff like that I'm gonna be hopefully posting on YouTube when I can do the edits. But my primarily, like, I'm a Twitch streamer, so you guys are used to seeing these like discussions and topics we talk about on here. So I'm gonna be working on some content that we're gonna be sharing on YouTube, going over all these different things. And the beauty about this is that since NVIDIA is such a big company, just because we got in with GeForce Now doesn't mean that we won't be able to make content and doing things outside of just that. But of course, that's where we're focused on. I am an ambassador with GeForce Now, and we want to represent them properly and sharing this with you guys because with um, being able to play games, it's part of our lives, right? Like all of us love gaming, and not all of us can always afford to get, like, again, the newest, the greatest things to keep up with all this. And so having GeForce Now gives us an opportunity of having an affordable way of having the power of these high-end PCs, of being able to game and doing these things. And for those that are able to afford, the proper GPUs and everything, by all means, like, that's for you. That's your solution. There's no shame in that. Go ahead. But as a VTuber right now, playing these heavier games on a computer, and my computer's a pretty good computer, but it still struggles. And so, like, to see the GeForce Now team trying to figure out the solution for that means the world to me. And so being able to set this up to where I can play these heavier games like Resident Evil is a big opportunity on having better graphics where I can't even run my VTube model with these. So I'm hoping with GeForce Now, and once we start working on that solution that we've discussed, I'm hoping that we'll be able to run my model completely while running like Resident Evil. Like, so even with these higher end computers, we can still have problems that we need to troubleshoot. So that's the goal, and we're working toward it. We're gonna get there. I don't know how, when, but we're working on it. And again, the entire team's still over at CES. I appreciate it. So all these games are on there, like Baldur's Gate, Expedition 33, Borderlands 4, Silk Song. So some games that might like be a little bit less on graphics, like Peak, but they have these higher end ones as well that I know that I want to see every single thing of dust particles moving. I love high end graphics when I play these games. I want to feel that I'm part of it. And so to demo the proper, like, again, like setup with their demos, it was amazing. I could not tell the difference of playing a regular game versus GeForce Now. It was pretty amazing. I was doing a flight simulator thing of Stranger Things and I completely crashed, and then I went too high. I sucked. I completely sucked at the demo, but it was a lot of fun to put like hands-on experience with it. So yeah, we did that. That was on Tuesday. So Monday we did the bigger panel with all the AI conversations. And then on Tuesday, I had my live demo where I got to go on hands-on and play with these things. I didn't get to go into like the GPU drives, like the physical ones. I stuck on the one with GeForce Now, which was really important for me to better understand it, to have the hands-on experience, and I'm learning a little bit about AI. But again, with this company being so big, we're trickling over and we're learning all the things with them. But yeah, if you guys have any questions at all with whatever's going on with NVIDIA or CES or anything, we have a space for you guys to post those questions, and we do have representation and support on getting us all that information, because it's really important. It's important that if I'm talking about something, it makes sense. If you have any questions, we're able to talk about it because of, I know for me, I don't know everything, and to have that type of support means the world. Do you pay for GeForce Now month by month? Dexter, there are different plans that you can do with GeForce Now. So with GeForce Now, you can try it out. So let's just say like you're like hearing about this and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to know more about it, but I'm not ready to maybe dive in all the way. You can try GeForce Now for free. You will have access to 2,000 plus games. You'll get 1 hour of game session. You will have to watch some ad breaks in there, but you can experience the 1080p resolution, 60 frames per second. But when you want to start getting into the program itself, they have day passes where you can try out the ultimate or the GeForce plan where you can try it out. And then you can also like do a monthly plan or a yearly plan, right? So just to try a day pass of the GeForce RTX, $4. You can try it out. You'll get 24 hours of access on there. The ultimate day pass is $8 to try out for the day. But if you decide to look at the monthly is, right here. So again, it's $10 a month for the RTX, or if you want the unlimited for the 4080, that's $20 a month. However, the better deals are always whenever you look at the year plan. So the year plan, you're looking at $99 for the RTX. And then for the 4080 RTX, you're looking at $200. So to us, when we're talking about this, it might seem a little expensive. We're like, oh my gosh, that's expensive. But it's like, wait a second. You are using their gear. So for those that are college students, those that aren't able to invest thousands of dollars into these computers, this is very affordable. Talking to the content creators that make content on cloud services, they love this. A lot of them look at it to where in the conversation is, if you are gaming over 100 hours, you have your full-time job, you have those situations, like you probably aren't looking at the cloud gaming per se, unless you're doing like your mobile devices and such. So those that are on like the Steam Deck, things like that, they highly recommend using the cloud gaming for that. But if you are also on an older computer and you're not able to invest into it the same way, these are really great solutions for you on that as well. So for me as a VTuber, I have really great products, but my computer demands a lot. We're running VTube Studio, VBridger, the TITS program for the TOS system, Mix It Up, OBS, I have Firebot. I have all these programs I'm running, plus the game itself. My computer is limping to get these games done. When I'm running Resident Evil right now, I can only use a static model to do those things. And I have to do a lot of programs to run when I'm doing Resident Evil. So I have Drew on a call. I'm streaming over there. So it's one of those things where it really adds up. But yeah, you can absolutely do a day pass of just trying out the services. You can do the free pass. They also have really cool promotions on their Twitter and such, where they'll sometimes like do an event where they'll say, if you stream this, you make some content, we'll give you, a day pass and such. So there's definitely ways to do that. Dexter in the Surviving for Santa Discord server will post anything that's going on there. But I can't say enough good things about the program itself. I've run it, I've used it, it's been great. It's just been hard for me to demonstrate it with my VTube model because of running Steam on there. I can't run multiple programs on there the same way that I need to with VTubing. So we figured out a solution for me to be able to showcase it to you guys. And I'm going to be making content for VTubers specifically that are wanting to run GeForce Now and to go over that hurdle with you guys. So what again has been great. NVIDIA has not been like very specific of like what my content should be. They're like, what is it that are solutions that you need? And I love that we're always trying to troubleshoot that. So yeah, these options are great. So Dexter, I hope that one of these are able to help you with your gaming or enhance it a little bit more. than what you're used to. But I mean, up to 240 frames per second for gaming, it's kind of crazy. I can't even describe the difference of going through the demos and trying it like and seeing it in person. I thought I was gaming on the regular like massive GPUs, and they're like, no, we're using GeForce now, and that was kind of surreal. And let's be real, the internet used at a hotel right now, a lot of people are using the internet at the hotel, especially at CES. So to see that these games were running as smoothly as they were, knowing that there's so many people like on top of those connections is kind of surreal. So it was pretty cool. But highly recommend taking a look at that. And we're going to be exploring more of this throughout our time with content creating. And so to partner with them, to be looking at planning on future events and collaborations and such is really cool. And I can't speak more and praise the team as much as I am. Like they've been amazing, very sweet, very humble, gracious, kind, open to feedback, wanted to listen, wanted to share. It's just 10 out of 10 experience. I literally went to CES just for them, and it was one event specifically to do the demos, and any opportunity, anything that they saw that I could be a part of, they invited me to. So they made me feel part of the family. They took care of me. Even on my travels, they were like, let us know when you get home. Let us, like whatever you need. It just above all else, amazing. And again, I'm not like some Mr. Beast. I'm not like some big streamer, but to see the care that they have of their creators as well meant the world to me. So highly recommend it. We're going to do more with it. And again, they run and work with Dead by Daylight, and Tissues got second place in Surviving for Santa running with GeForce Now, which was amazing. So, again, it's like they can help with the hardware side, but they can't help with the skill gap to Tissues' sake. But we got through it okay. We did. I'm trying to think of what else to go over with that. I don't think there was any other like specific videos I can think of that we might have missed, but I will take a peek and see if there's anything else that we could have missed with it. I mean, they did the keynote before. No, that one's before. Just making sure. Oh, this was the stage where they talked about like the AI with it itself. So they talked to like Mercedes and a couple other brands about those things. But I think we got, let me see. Yeah, I subscribe to Studio. I just want to look and make sure I'm not missing anything. I went over this. That's 2 weeks ago. We'll look at Studio. Let's watch. This can't be that long, right? Yeah, it's a minute. Let me see.
Searching files takes longer than it should because your PC can only see file names, not what's inside. Generative AI changes this. It understands the content in your files so you can search documents, PDFs, images, or presentations just by describing what you need.
Oh.
Nexa AI's hyperlink video search takes it even further. It lets you search your video library for people, objects, actions, or even specific phrases. And it jumps straight to the clips where they
from everything
appear.
from gaming
Take video
to
editors.
this type of
They
content
write a
as
script,
well of
then
just
spend hours
AI.
digging through
It's
B-roll to
surreal.
match it.
It's
Hyperlink
very
lets you find the
surreal.
shots you need. All of this is accelerated by RTX GPUs. And everything runs locally on your PC, so your files stay private and secure. With RTX AI PCs, your workflow is faster, smarter, and fully AI optimized.
Yeah. So I mean, like, just seeing all these different branches of departments of what they're doing, like they took over the entire hotel. Over at let's do RTX. There we go. Over at the Fountain Blue. Like the entire hotel was basically all NVIDIA and their team. So let's see if I'm missing any. Did we miss anything over here? We watched that. We watched that. We watched this. We watched all these. I want to make sure we don't miss anything with GeForce Now. Yeah, but don't they have their own whatchamacallit? Do they have their own channel? Let's see. That's GeForce. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Several YouTube channels for gaming products. The main one being the GeForce. Do they have one specifically for GeForce Now, though? I guess they kind of lumped it all together for GeForce. Okay. So yeah, if you wanted any information with GeForce Now and any of their gaming toward that, you would have to go over here. But let me see. I just want to make sure. GeForce Now. Oh, YouTube. Wait. Yep, it's over here. Yeah. I wish they kind of had their own channel for that, right? I get that they lumped it in with like the gaming as a whole. That makes sense. But they have like their Twitter and stuff like that. That's a separate division with it. But that's over there. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the wrap up with the Vegas trip. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I went to a club speaking of club, we'll put music back on. I went to a club and it was a lot of fun. They were playing Alessa was there and phenomenal. It was a great time. And they had all the AI doing the lights and the any of the tech side of it, which was really, really cool. So we got to see all that go down. And then got back, and then I'm just a little bit sick, so a little under the weather. So this was kind of like a surprise stream, but I wanted to showcase everything I could and to talk about the trip before I forgot anything, because it's always important. But I'm looking at, we're going to do Dead by Daylight again on Sunday. So I'm probably going to spend the next 2 days probably taking a little bit of, I don't want to say a break, but I'm going to be focusing on making some content on YouTube for NVIDIA. I'm going to take a little time on getting that stuff done. And then on Sunday, we're going to come back to Dead by Daylight, work on that side of things. And yeah, but if you guys have any questions specifically for NVIDIA, please let us know. We have all that. And yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it